Good afternoon from Rio de Janeiro in Brazil for the semi-finals of the ICF Canoe Slalom World Championships. It's the C1 women and then the K1 men in action this afternoon. Already we've seen the world champions crowned in the C1 men and the K1 women. And we'll see who will progress through into tomorrow's C1 women and K1 men finals. Myself, Andy Maddock, will talk you through all the action, and alongside me for the C1 women's event is Hayley Daniels from the Canadian team. So a very warm welcome, Hayley, and we look forward to talking through here on this great Rio 2016 Olympic course. A lot of great memories, but of course in the C1 women's event, then the C1 women's event will be making its debut at the Tokyo Olympic Games. And how much has that influenced the C1 women's class over the last couple of years since that was confirmed?
Yeah, I mean, it's been a big triumph for all of us. We've pushed really hard for it, and it's very exciting that we're finally going to be able to say that we can go to the Olympics. I think everyone's pushing really hard, and the off-season is where it counts. So these girls are definitely going to fight for it in the semifinal and then push for it in 2019 for the Olympic qualifiers.
That's right, those Olympic qualifiers just a year away now, and it all starts to become very real. So we started off with 44 competitors in this in the heats. We went into 30 boats now in this semi-final. These 30 boats will race off in reverse order of their qualification performance for just 10 places in the World Championship final. That will be tomorrow morning at 9 o'clock Brazilian time, which is about 2 o'clock Central European time. And we'll of course be live at Planet Canoe. But let's get focused on there. So we saw the start list, and the temperature this afternoon, well, it's certainly hotted up from this morning. Perfect conditions this morning, Hayley, for the finals, and a little bit more humid and a bit more wind out there?
A bit more wind. It's still looking pretty dark. The palm trees still look good in the darkness, but I think the lighting's a little better. It's quite bright when it's sunny here, so the dim is good.
Well, we're underway with racing. So, as I say, 30 boats racing for just 10 places in this ICF Canoe Slalom World Championship final. And our first competitor from Andorra is Monica Doria Villarubla.
Oh, she's falling a little low there, but I think she can fight and get back up.
So the same course as we saw in the finals of the C1 men and the K1 women. So this course, 24 gates, and our course designers, Mark Delaney and Marianne Aguilon, have set a really good challenge. Which particular parts do you think, Hayley, are the main challenges for these athletes?
Well, she definitely just did that move very well. I think that can actually be a hard upstream, but definitely the bottom is very tricky, and I think the top move is actually one of the harder ones.
I would agree with you there. We saw some big names falling victim to the bottom part of the course, and so would you say that pacing is very important on this course? You've got to keep something in the tank for that bottom move.
Yeah, I don't know if I would say pacing is the right thing. I think you need to charge the whole way down, but precision is huge here. You definitely need to be putting your paddle in the right place so that you can maneuver over the stoppers.
Well, Monica Doria Villarubla, so paddles for Andorra, but based at Liceo Duchel in Spain, in northern part of Spain. Fantastic venue, built for the 1992 Olympic Games, and the host city for the ICF Canoe Slalom World Championships next year, and it will be those Olympic qualifiers. So how much time will you be spending there, Hayley, in your preparation?
I actually just rented an apartment there for a year, so if there's any paddlers out there that are looking for a place to stay, they can come stay with me. But yeah, I am really excited about CO. It's one of my favorite courses, and it's such an amazing place to be. They're quite lucky to have a course like that.
Yes, it's something. One of the great things about this sport of canoe slalom is some of the places we get to visit. So as Monica Doria Villarubla of Andorra comes through the finish line, I think there might be a couple of penalties to go on to that time, but certainly we shall wait and see as we go on to our next competitor from the People's Republic of China. It's Ji Yang, 21-year-old. And the team from the People's Republic of China have not really featured much on the circuit this year. I think their focus has been on the Asian Games.
Yes, definitely. It's a huge opportunity, I think, for athletes to be able to go to those games. I know for ourselves, we have the Pan Am Games in Lima next year, so we'll be looking to fight for a medal there. It's the biggest games other than the Olympics, so it's quite exciting.
So a bit of an unknown in terms of the form for some of the athletes from the People's Republic of China. And just get some early indications. So Monica Doria Villarubla, her time 1:24.60. That has 10 seconds of penalties to add on to that. So
looks like she's definitely pulling quite hard through the course.
it's interesting here what we will see compared to the men's C1 final earlier on today. We didn't actually see any switching. I was a bit surprised.
Yeah.
But I would expect to see quite a lot
Cam
of
did
switching.
switch yesterday. My teammate Cam did switch.
And are you a switcher, or are you?
Yeah, I definitely switch. I think that it just gives you a lot more leverage, and you can take moves a lot riskier. When you're on your offside, you really have to set up, and she did that very well, actually.
Yeah, she's really delivered that bottom move. So when I talk about switching, it's where you change the paddle round to be on your favoured side to suit the move. And there we see it there as Ji Yang of the People's Republic of China comes into the finish line and, well, into the race lead provisionally.
Yeah, I think switching is definitely, you're going to have a more dominant side, so some like the left more, some like the right, you can tell. But offsides are just less efficient, so if you can be on your dominant side and really pull through, it's going to help.
Well, and I suppose Jessica Fox was the real pioneer of the switching.
Yeah, the Australians.
In the early days. And yeah, and Rosalind Lawrence and the Australians. And I guess some people were later to adopt that.
Yeah, I mean, Sapresti was one of the first male switchers. Now we're seeing it more across both categories, so that's been really cool because we can watch that category before we go down the course and see how they would maneuver it, so we can do the same thing.
Yeah, David Florence has been known on a few occasions to do some switching, both in C1 but also in the C2.
Yeah.
In the run into
and mixed
to Rio.
C2 has been switching as well.
Yes.
That's magnificent to watch. Them going over the head and grabbing the paddle on the other side.
So there's a small pause in the proceedings. There's a technical issue, so the start is delayed at the moment.
Wow, it's looking really dark up there. It's ominous.
I think the rain is less of an issue, isn't it? What we don't want is the wind to get up.
Yeah, we had that in qualifying runs. Definitely affected quite a few people.
So I have to say, there's a great atmosphere on site here. You know, we may not be blessed with the grandstands full like they were at the Olympic Games, but there's a great atmosphere here, and certainly around the place, a lot of Brazilian party music.
I think there's a really strong community in the Diodora area here. Every morning there's a samba class just in the concrete area right outside the course, so it's cool to watch them get their fitness in through samba, and yeah, I think the locals are really excited about the event.
Well, yes indeed, and so are we, because we've already crowned 2 world champions today. We saw Franz Anton take his first world title in the C1 event for Germany.
And so deserving. Franz has worked very hard for that. Yeah.
He has indeed, a very popular victory.
Yes. He's also our photographer.
And then in the K1 women's event, well, we saw the record breaker, Jessica Fox for Australia, setting new standards, a 3rd world title in the kayak event, and actually becoming the Canoe Slalom's most successful female world championship paddler.
Yeah, I mean, I would arguably say she's one of the most successful athletes in any sport. She really is so consistent and very humble about it, so it's really inspiring to try and look up to that.
Yeah, and she'll be in action in this afternoon's racing when it gets back underway. In fact, she'll be off last on the basis that she qualified first in the heats and gets the honour of going off towards the end of this. So
I think it's going to be a good fight. The British girls are very strong on a course like this because London is very similar, but you know, Jess really has ambition. She knows the Rio really well. And it'll be interesting to see who comes into the final.
Well, I'm told that the racing's going to be getting underway very shortly again. So
it's definitely a hard thing to have a race delay when you're sitting in that start eddy.
It is, particularly if you're the next person to start.
Yeah, you have to kind of restart and get back into your zone. And sometimes, you know, you can be even delayed by 20 minutes. So you have to decide if you get out of your boat or stay in your boat.
But do you have a really fixed race routine? You know, when you get into the start pool, do you have a routine?
When I first started racing, I definitely had that, but it's transitioned into more just being curious and in the now. So looking around, not really thinking about what I'm going to do because I've done enough preparation and know what the course is. Yeah, just really making sure that I'm feeling good. I like to hum a little bit, a song, just to keep myself calm and cool.
And do you have a lucky thermal or anything like that? So, some of the athletes you talk to, they have a lucky something.
I have lucky shorts.
Lucky shorts,
yeah.
There we go.
They have holes in them and I still wear them. So
that's it. I remember a long time ago I used to have a lucky thermal, but really its thermal properties were long since gone.
Mm-hmm. This next athlete coming up from Japan has been working with one of the athletes from Hungary, or getting coaching from one of the athletes from Hungary. So it's been cool to watch them work together and really train together as well.
Well, there we are back underway with racing, and it is Eri Yagi of Japan, and it must be really exciting to not only the C1 event making its debut in the Olympic program, but for the Japanese, the opportunity to have that on and hosting the games. And 663 days, I believe, until the opening ceremony of the Olympic Games, and it sounds like a lot, but it'll soon be round here.
Oh, that just gave me chills, you talking about that. It's quite exciting to know that it's so close and also so far. Definitely the Japanese team has made a mark. They are definitely doing very well this year, both men and women.
Indeed, and Eri Yagi has a good start here on the top part of the course. I think it's going to be interesting. 30 boats going for 10 places in the final. I think it's going to have to be a little bit of tactics on this technically demanding course, because you know, you take too much risk for a fast time. If you pick up too many penalties, then it's all over. So solid at the moment on the top part of the course.
Yeah, she picked up a couple of touches and had a little trouble with her spins, but I think she's back on course. Definitely looking to get down there quickly.
Yeah, just talking about the Tokyo Olympic course will be quite similar to this course here in Rio de Janeiro.
Oh, you got the insider details, hey?
I'm actually very fortunate. I've actually been to see it.
Oh, exciting.
But it was more of a construction site.
Gosh, she's falling a little low.
But it is very similar, perhaps a little bit more compact in terms of the site, but great location, pretty close to Tokyo Bay. And certainly we look forward to racing there, but it's big problems there. Well, great recovery, for Eri Yagi of Japan, but unfortunately for her, that will...
Hopefully she can go back for it. That's the hardest move. You have to be very flat with your boat there and have your switches very precise. And unfortunately, she had too much edge, and the hole got the best of her.
Yes, and there's no way back to gate 22.
We've seen quite a few people try to go back for it, and it's just it's not worth it.
No. Well, let's turn our attention back up to the top of the course, because next up it's Miren Lazcano of Spain. So Miren, probably you'd expect to be the first of our competitors to really set a time to chase. She was 6th at the Senior European Championships earlier on this year, and she made the final at the Under-23 World Championships this year. So very much a name emerging onto the scene.
Yeah, she's struggling a little bit here, but she definitely picks up a lot of speed and upstream, so I think that's where she'll... Oh, dear. Well, she can get back on it. Go fight for it.
The hardest thing there is just getting your orientation back again.
Yes, I flipped over in my race, unfortunately, and you roll back up, and there's a lot of chlorine in this water, so I found that your eyes get a little irritated as well.
So this is an artificial course built for the Rio 2016 Olympic Games, and as you say, it's basically like an outdoor swimming pool when the pumps are switched off, and then you pump the water up to the top. There's 10 cubic meters of water per second gets pumped into the start pool, and gravity does the rest.
Yeah, it is a very cool venue.
It drops 4.5 meters over the course of the top to bottom. And this here, by gate 20, is the biggest of the drops, and certainly the most challenging move here is 21 to 22. But already, Miran has picked up a 50-second penalty on the downstream 13.
Oh dear. Yeah, she's definitely fighting till the end, though. I think that resiliency is one of her redeeming qualities. She definitely fights no matter what happens. So good for her going all the way to the end.
Well, yes, and you never know, because it is a tough course, and you never know that there might still be the door open to get into that final. So into third place for Miran Lazcano, but at the moment it is still Ji Yang of the People's Republic of China leading the race in the early stages. Remember, 30 boats racing for 10 boat places in the World Championship final. And of course they're racing in reverse order of their performance in the heats. But the first of their French boats now on course is Claire Jacquet. So
she's normally quite precise, so I think she's maybe a little nervous here, but she's a very good paddler, so I definitely want to see what she's going to do at the end.
She's certainly capable of getting into this 10-boat final, and the French team very strong, very nicely in and out of the upstream 15. And
good
really
control.
You can just see that she's got great feel for the white water there.
Yes, definitely.
We've seen a few people. You've almost got to keep. Well, you have to keep the boat flat on the way across from 15 to 16, and there's a few people who've given it a bit too much upstream edge.
Oh, she's got a 9-second advantage. Good for Claire.
Well done, Claire. Now it's important to stay focused though on the bottom section. She's a little bit low on the upstream 20. That's not a problem.
Yeah, that gives you a little bit of speed so that you can really set up the next move.
She's now got to get the line. 21. She's going to go for the spin into 22. And nicely done. She's going to be really tight into the upstream.
Perfect. And do a little punt and then get to the end.
Wow, that's a great move there from Claire Jacquet of France.
I think she'll be happy with this.
Just the one blemish, that one touch on her run at the moment. She comes into the finish, and 123.83, that includes that 2-second penalty. But well, she really showed a mature approach to that bottom section, and you know, it was well, it wasn't high risk.
No, and you just
again,
that not giving up, right? Even if you have a touch, you just let it go and continue to push down the course.
So next up for the Russian Federation, it is Alsu Minazova. Well,
We're losing a pickup in the Russians this year. They've been training very hard. Saw them in C1w when I was there in the spring.
Yes, and their sort of coaching team led by Jean-Yves Chotin, who used to be a French top K1 paddler, but yeah, really emerging. And well, Alsu was 17th at the World Championships in 2017 in Pau, in France, which is pretty much the Russian team's base.
Yes, yeah, they spent a lot of time there. She's doing very good here. She just smashed that difficult section, so hopefully she can hold it together to the end.
Well, that's a tidy run into 15. Now this is where just got to feel the water.
You can see she kept her bow up there, which is really important, and you can see that tracked into the up and kept speed.
So nicely now we're getting an indication coming through this second split.
She's staying on her inside blade there, so it's going to keep speed.
So then switches the blade onto the right-hand side to help in the run into the upstream 20, and that's going to... She was trailing by 2 seconds at the split, but she may have found that on Claire just in that move alone.
Here's the crux. Direct. There you go. Oh, no.
She's gone around the outside, hasn't she?
Yeah, she went a little too far.
She almost...
That's the risk you take when you put too much edge there.
She's almost done that too well, and yeah, trying to get back for 22, it's a big ask, and
oh no,
the fatigue really setting in. Remember, this is the bottom part of the course, and unfortunately for Alsu Minazova, it's
fight to the end,
starting to unravel a little bit on the bottom part of the course. But yes, it is great to see she's recomposed herself, and she's going to paddle out the run.
It's a hard thing to happen at the end of your run. There's been so many upsets there.
Yes, it's. I was going to say she's part of quite a long list of big names that have experienced that move, including the world champion this morning, Jessica Fox. I mean, how offline was she on that move this morning? But she managed to pull it off and win her third world title. So next up for Germany, it is Lena Stöcklin.
You can tell she's really taking her time here. She really wants to do these moves well.
So Lena was a bronze medalist back in 2011 in this event at the World Championships, and she was 7th, so a finalist at this year's European Championships.
She had some World Cup medals as well last year, so she's definitely one to be noted on the scene. Doing well to keep her bow up there, very good control.
Germany have had a great morning
yes.
Here. They took
Ausgezeichnet.
good gold in the C1 men, bronze in the C1 men, and bronze in the K1 women's event. So
she's having quite a good run here.
I would agree. She really looks like she's got the feel of the flow of the run, and that's going to be important on this bottom section. You can't afford to fight it, can you?
Yeah, exactly. There we go. Let's see what happens.
So she takes it on forwards, sets it up nicely. She's going to drop a little bit low, but that is not a problem there. And, well, is this going to be our first clean run? It's looking like it will be.
Yes, good for her.
So Lena Stöcklin of Germany taking her final strokes as she heads towards the finish line and into first place. And a clean run for Lena. That's a good run.
I think she'll be very happy with that, definitely.
I think that will stand the test of time, certainly in terms of being in contention for a place in the 10-boat final. So next up for Poland, it is Alexandra Stach. So 27th at the World Championships in 2017 in Pau in France, and just almost a little bit ahead of herself on the run into the upstream gate 6.
There's a wave on the right-hand side there that makes it very difficult to come into that upstream. So sometimes you have a very big hole there. So I think she actually got the point where it was a hole.
Well, this is the critical section now. 8 downstream gates in a row.
She still can make up that 5 seconds. So. Hold on. She's picking up some penalties, but she's still sticking to her plan, I think.
Well, she's certainly keeping it composed.
Yeah, the Polish are a very strong team. They have some great venues, and I think they really push hard throughout the whole winter, so she has some good chances to do well here.
Yeah, it's quite cold conditions, because a lot of the Polish teams stay at home in the European winter, and, well, in fact, in Krakow, they have a marquee they put over the white water course.
Yeah, our national team coach is Michał Czanczowski, and he has told us many stories about training in Krakow in the winter.
I can imagine, well, that certainly tests your enthusiasm.
Oh, definitely. It's your grit factor there.
So, this is the critical move now for Alexandra Stach for Poland as she comes through.
Wow, very good, strong offside there.
Into the final upstream gate. There may well, yes, there is another penalty on gate 22, but a respectable run coming together. So it's still going to be Lena Stöcklin of Germany leading the way in the early stages ahead of Claire Jacquet of France and Ji Yang of the People's Republic of China. So into 5th place for Alexandra Stach. And we're starting to get towards the third, well, 1/3 down, 2/3 to go as we look towards Luca Jones of New Zealand. Busy day for her. She was racing in the kayak final earlier on today. And of course she was the Olympic silver medalist in the kayak event here at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games.
Yeah, Luca has a very aggressive style on the water, but she fights for every move, so that really pays off in her time. Sometimes it looks like she's not very fast, and then you look and you're like, wow, she's really made up those seconds.
Well, she's found the time on the top section, but it might just have slipped away there. She had the advantage of 1.76 early on, but now a 2-second penalty on gate 13. And another one perhaps to add on 15, which, yes, is now confirmed. So Luca loves this place. You can just see when when she talks about the place, she
lights
living
up,
it.
definitely, yeah. She spent a lot of time here, and I think, you know, you have a special place in your heart when you have a life-changing moment here as well. So it's a cool course, and she definitely knows how to maneuver it.
Yeah, she's had a good record in terms of, you know, since her Olympic silver medal, she's had back-to-back World Championship finals in the kayak event, and the canoe event is really something quite new for her. This is her first season really focusing properly on it. Am I right in thinking that?
She definitely almost made a final last year, so she was doing canoe last year, but she's really climbed the rankings quite quickly because she knows how to maneuver her boat, and it translates from kayak into canoe.
Well, Luca Jones for New Zealand goes into third place. 6 seconds in penalties added to her time. And that is the fastest time we've seen of the day so far, but it is only good enough for third at the moment. So Lena Stöcklin of Germany still leading in the early stages as we now come to our second competitor from France. It's Lucie Priault, who was seventh in the World Championships last year, so she was a finalist on her home course in Pau, in the foothills of the French Pyrenees. And she was junior world champion in this event in 2014.
Yeah, she's a very strong contender. She has a very aggressive style also, and she's very flat with her boat. The French really know how to have that precision on the water, so I think she's having a very good run as well, if she can hold it together.
Yeah, 2.77 the advantage in the early stage of the competition, and navigated that, as you say, Hayley, very well indeed.
Crossing the hole, quite precise, good switches. Yeah, I rode the bus with her here today, and she was definitely hungry to race well. So,
how much do you think the athletes will take a slightly different strategy on during the semi-final compared to what they would do in the final in terms of risk?
I think you want to paddle with no regrets, right? So you want to get down that course and think that you laid it all out, and you don't want to get to the bottom and think that you held back. So, you know, you're really going to take those risks in the semifinals so that you can make the final. And if you make the final, then hopefully you stay composed. Yeah, she's having a little trouble here. This is a very sticky hole on that side.
Yeah, so she has done gate 22, but
yeah.
She's ended up not being able to get her bows back towards the upstream. That's a great recovery, but it's going to be expensive on the clock.
Yeah, she had such a solid top, so that really made up a lot of time, but yeah, she definitely lost time in that hole, unfortunately.
So there, I think she's gone from being in point of taking the race lead to actually dropping quite down the order, down to 6th place for Lucie Priault of France. And she knows it, and the teeth in the bottom part of the course have bitten again.
Yeah, that is a very tricky move. Even with gates in a different place there, it can just bite you. That hole is so inconsistent.
So next up, it is Monika Skachova of Slovakia. And she's had a good season. So we saw on the caption there a performance at the under-23 European. She's also was 4th at the senior European Championships. So
she typically doesn't switch either. She usually stays on one side, so that can be to her detriment. So some places like this.
So she's a little bit low there, gets a bit buried on gate 12. The back of the boat just sinks a little bit, flushes down, but she's recovered that. But it's all valuable time that just starts to tick away. It doesn't take much in this sport to end up finding out a deficit at the bottom that is hard to make up.
Yes, and now she's coming into one of the crux moves, so we'll see how it goes. She is a righty, so that can be to her advantage.
So 7 seconds down on the race leader at the moment. That's Lena Stöcklin of Germany. She's having to work hard, but this is the critical section. So she needs to get the bows round. That's very late. That's very late, and you can see, unfortunately,
she went a little too far to the left. Didn't catch that bounce off the hole. 22 takes another one to the dust.
So it won't be a final, unfortunately, for Monika Skachova of Slovakia. And disappointment today, but I'm sure she'll be back in the World Championships in La Ciotat in 2018. So still, Lena Sturklin leading ahead of Claire Jacquet and Luca Jones. Now, representing Great Britain, we have Bethan Forrow. So Bethan Forrow in her first year on the senior team for Great Britain.
And doing quite well. She's a fighter on the water for sure.
Yeah, she's had some really strong performances. She was 9th at the Senior European Championships earlier on in the season. And actually, she will be going home from Brazil with a gold medal in the team event.
Yes, most definitely. The teams they did very well.
So she's, as a junior paddler, she'll be pretty proud of that.
And I think only go up from there. She's got some stiff competition in Great Britain, but she can definitely learn from that and maybe even improve that.
Well, it's a tidy top section for Bethan Forrow. So 6.2 the advantage, so it's all about keeping it together on the bottom section. I know there'll be a lot of people from her club, Lee Valley Paddle Sports Club, on that London 2012 Olympic venue watching her. Well, she's late, but
wow,
really mature there. She waits for it, pushes back.
Wow,
and,
she really nailed that move. That's amazing.
I think there'll be a few people looking at that actually in terms of, well,
most definitely.
I might want to copy that. So
She just had
Bethan
such a
Forrow
flat
now.
boat.
Now coming to the finish, and this is going to smash the race lead time. 1:14.20. Bethan Forrow for Great Britain goes into the lead, and surely that will be good enough for a final.
That will keep a smile on her face.
So the women's kayaks earlier were doing 100 around about. I think certainly Jess Fox probably would have done that without that mistake, and that's a good performance there. So next up, it is Andrea Herzog of Germany. She was 4th in this year's Under-23 World Championships, and again, Germans strong in this event.
Yeah, she also was close to the podium last week, or a couple weeks ago in Sao, so she's wanting to get there.
So she got a bit held up on the run into the upstream gate 6. That's probably where that time loss is accounted for. But let's not forget, this is still, if she can stick with that deficit, then she'll be absolutely in the mix for second place. Currently, Bethan Forrow of Great Britain leading by 9 seconds at this point in the competition, and that's really good. Wraps it round the upstream. Andrea Herzog of Germany keeping it clean.
Yeah, now she's getting down to the bottom section. She's a strong athlete on the right, so this will help. Having the upstream on the right. Oh, goodness.
Well, she's been pushed out to the left there. She's going to have to... Oh, so she obviously knows she hasn't got it. The 50 has been awarded. She can cancel that out if she gets back up to it, which she is doing, but that's surely going to be too expensive on the clock to progress into the final.
Yeah, I think you just want to know that you had a run without a 50-second penalty, but you're not going to have a chance to be in the final, unfortunately, but good for her for going back for that.
And she's been pushed out wide here, and there's no way back on 22. That's a tricky move, and it probably doesn't help when you've already had to paddle back for a gate. You've used some... depleted some of those energy reserves.
And I think your mind is just not in the same place also. You're so on it, you're in that flow state, and if you make a mistake, it kind of cracks that flow state,
So Andrea Herzog of Germany into 11th place. So at the moment, it is Bethan Forrow leading for Great Britain ahead of Lena Sturklin of Germany, Claire Jacquet of France, and now Ros Lawrence of Australia. Well, she was one of the real pioneers of the sport of C1 women.
Yeah, one of the OGs for sure.
And if you could see, World Cup winner on several occasions. And, well, she's had a few years off, but she's come back. And it's great to see her back.
Yeah, I think she was just, she was still paddling all the way through, and she's been back the last 2 seasons stronger than ever, medaling at World Cups, and really on Jess's feet there, so.
Yeah, she was 5th at the World Championships last year, so very close to the podium. And I'm sure as we run in towards the Olympic Games, she'll be wanting to keep Jess looking over her shoulder.
Yeah, most definitely. Roz is a very strong paddler, and she takes all of the risks, and I think she'll be one to look for sure.
Well, this is a good run from Rosalind Lawrence of Australia. She is 2.63 seconds down on the current race leader, Bethan Farrow of Great Britain, but that was a stunning performance, I think, in terms of time. So if Rosalind can hold it together on the bottom section, which she is doing, a little bit sticky, but with her experience, her skills, not a problem there.
Now she just really needs to fight to the bottom there, and then she can hopefully get into the top 10.
Well, it is a quick time, but it's going to be outside the current race lead time. Importantly for her, it is clean, and surely this will go into second place. Rosalind Lawrence of Australia into second place, 1:21.43, but she must be thinking, I gave away a bit of time at the bottom, and, well, time will tell, because we are getting towards the halfway point in this women's C1 semi-final of the ICF Canoe Slalom World Championships. Bethan Farrow leads for Great Britain ahead of Rosalind Lawrence of Australia, Lena Stöcklin of Germany in third. And on course now it is Simona Makachova of Slovakia.
Yeah, definitely one of the younger gals on this team, but all still very good.
Well, the Slovaks have a good record in this competition, as do the Czechs as well. So
good infrastructure, good coaching, and lots of legends to look up to.
Well, she's again keeping it clean through this section, but you can see the time slip away, can't you?
Yeah, I think it's all going to be about how she maneuvers on the bottom. This move, you can lose a lot of time. She just was a little low in 15 there, so it's going to cost her at least 3 seconds.
She's just having to work a little bit harder there, 15 to 16, and again, that looks like she had to work quite physically there, whereas if you can really find the line on the white water, you must let the water do the work.
Yeah, being very phonetical on the water.
Well, we'll see how she stacks up. 8.3 now, the deficit. So it is a tidy run coming together, but it isn't going to challenge for the race lead.
Yeah,
this
just because
is
you're
the
clean.
critical move.
Let's see what she does here. Oh my goodness.
Well, in some ways, at least she's managed to get in the eddy above, because she can get well positioned here on 21, but it's hard to hold your bows.
Yeah, I think she made a good choice in going back to that eddy. It gave her the opportunity to not have a 50-second penalty.
That's a great recovery, really, there for Simona, as she comes down towards the final gate on this 24-gate course. So, of course, this is the first time they've paddled on this gate sequence in the semi-final. If they make it through to the final, they will race on the same course, so there will be a bit of learning there. But into 9th place there for Simona Makachova of Slovakia. So, up next, we've got another Slovak paddler. It is Sona Stanovska, the under-23 European champion from 2018. And, well, it's looking like she's on a good run so far, but a touch early on gate 1.
Yeah, we'll see how she does here. She has been training very hard this year, and she works with her dad, who's her coach, and her brother, who races for Latvia, so she has lots of great people and training partners to push her.
Well, comfortably through into the upstream 15. I'm sure we'll see some of her water skills as she goes 15 to 16. Effortless then.
There we go, now to the bottom part of the course. She's on time with Beth, so really it's that bottom that's going to get her.
Yep, 7.93 the deficit, so it's still in the mix for a place in the final.
She keeps her speed in 20 there, and hopefully she can get her boat around for 21, 22.
She does that well. That's really good positioning, and she'll have to spin. That may not have been plan A, but it certainly won't cost her much time. I expect
be a good run.
I expect as a Slovak paddler, you know, a bit like the bottom drop in Bratislava, she'll be used to that kind of pushy water, particularly at the bottom part of the run when you're physically quite drained.
Yeah, you want to use the water as much as possible so you don't have to use your physical ability.
So Sona Stanovska of Slovakia into 3rd place. Actually, it's into 4th place. There is a 2-second penalty showing on gate 1. But so the graphic not quite right. But Bethan Forrow of Great Britain still leading, 1:14.20, a clean run, ahead of Rosalind Lawrence of Australia and Lena Stöcklin of Germany. As next up, it's Shi Chen of the People's Republic of China.
I was watching her paddle the other day. She has a very aggressive style. I haven't seen her on the scene, but I definitely am excited to see how she does.
Yeah, she's really attacking this course, isn't she? And well, she's dropped off the wave 9 to 10. Cost her a bit of time, but you can see if she can keep this form as she goes down the course, then she will be a challenger.
The Chinese team is just very strong coming into these World Championships.
Yeah, they're quite an unknown because they haven't competed all season in the World Cup series, really, focusing on the Asian Games. Then they come in. The form book is quite unclear.
She did that move well.
And I'm sure we'll see them throughout the season next year as we build towards the Olympic qualifications in La Seu de Hell at the World Championships.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will be spending a lot of time in Sao. The little town's got to get ready for us.
Shi Chen of the People's Republic of China has a deficit at the bottom of nearly 8 seconds now. So it's really going to need a good delivery on this bottom section. Nicely done. Switches it round and a little bit sticky there. That was
yeah. She
that
didn't
looked
match
harsh.
the angle of the hole there, so it pushed her a little bit down.
Perfect placement across the back of the hole, setting up for 22. But like you say, just didn't get the bows back round, pointing at the upstream, get 23. Quite enough time. So Beth Forrow of Great Britain will still be holding the lead, and into 8th place for Shi Chen of the People's Republic of China. And well, it won't be long before we start to confirm who is going to be into this World Championship final. Of course, you could join that live here on the ICF, and that's at 9 o'clock Brazilian time tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, and I believe that's 2 o'clock in the afternoon in Central European time. So on course now, it's Lucie Bourdeau, the third of the French paddlers competing in this competition, wearing bib number 17. Well, she was 13th at the European Championships this year. She's made a couple of finals in the World Cups.
She also medaled in kayak this year in Krakow.
You're right.
Yeah, she's had a good season. I think once you're on the French team, you really got to show that you can fight and be in those finals, and I think that Lucie really has improved her technique and is there.
Yeah, such is the depth of the French, I guess, national system that it's brutal just getting into the team. And like you say, once you're there, then you know you have a pretty high standard, and you've got to take your opportunity whilst it comes. Well, that's a good line.
Just taking the spin, safe route. Wow, very risky switch there.
She looked a little indecisive, actually. She had the good line to 21.
She's trying to find her paddle there. I hope she can get up.
So Lucie Bourdeau, a bit disorientated, and well, she has done gate 22, but that'll be a significant time loss. So unfortunately for the French paddler, Lucie Bourdeau, that mistake at the bottom section, well, she joins a long list of, very high-profile scalps that the bottom section has taken so far. Well, the locals are starting to make some noise because we have Ana Sagila of Brazil on course, bronze medalist in this event in 2017 at the World Championships, and the first ever World Championship medal for Brazil.
Anna's a very strong athlete. She has a very unique style on the water, but she's always carrying her speed. You can see that there. She's just making the boat move and not wasting any moment. I think even with that touch, she'll do well.
You're right, Hayley. That's her characteristic, isn't it? She's a very attacking paddler, and she's not always clean, but she often makes up for that in her pace.
Yeah, I almost think a touch motivates her sometimes. It helps her to really just go as fast as she can down the course. Wow, she just nailed that move.
Yeah, she's had 2 podiums in the 2018 World Cup, and you know, she was in the final of the women's kayak event earlier on today. It didn't go her way. She didn't get on the podium, but again, that would have perhaps helped her in terms of deciding her strategy to deliver the C1 run.
Yeah, once you've gone down the course once, the lines are quite similar, so you can apply that here.
Well, this is a fast
doing
time
well,
from
yeah.
Anna, and that is how to do it.
There you go. Staying as a righty and matching the angle.
Well, that was an incredible move down the bottom for Ana Sachila of Brazil. She might have 4 seconds in penalties on her score, but this surely will be good enough to make it into the final. Well, she goes into second place. She knows it.
Happy about that.
And, well, if we look at it, there's 11 boats still to finish. She's lying in second place, and you'd say you'd be pretty confident that that would be enough.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think there's still many to come, but there's so many mistakes in that bottom move, you have no idea.
Well, next up for Germany, it is Elena Appel. So she picked up a bronze medal earlier on this season at the 2018 European Championships on Prague. Let's see what she can do here.
Yeah, it's definitely super hard to make the team also in Germany. Just as France, Germany has so many people that are good, so you have a lot of people interchanging on the national team.
Well, 6.19 seconds down early on, so a little bit of work to do, but there is still quite a margin in the top 3 at the moment. At the moment, the top 3 is separated by 7 seconds. So that penalty signalled by the judge there on gate 13 won't help her cause as she comes into the 15, and a little bit low there.
She's definitely switching a lot before this, and that not having your paddle in the water is just not having control, so she can have that control on the bottom here.
Well, a little bit sticky from 18 to 19. Needs to find that rhythm going into the upstream 20, because that will help her to set up for the tricky move down into the final upstream gate.
She's a little low, so she has to fight to get back up there. And here's the moment of truth.
Well, that's a good position.
Oh, she's getting a little stuck.
And now she's got to get the barrels back towards the upstream, but
yeah, once you pass 22, it's over.
yeah, well, it's good. She's going to give it a go, but many other people have tried it, and unfortunately, it's not going to be today. So Elena Appel of Germany will pick up a 50-second penalty on the downstream gate 22. And
she will finish doing the last 2 gates, but that's hard to get into 50 there. Now we have Nadine. She's a very aggressive style. She also does not switch, so it's very interesting to watch her because she has such a strong offside.
yes, and that's Nadine Verachnik of Austria on the top part of the course, so into 19th place for Elena Appel. So now we're watching Nadine Verachnik of Austria.
Wow, going direct there.
Under 23 world champion, but in 2018, but yeah, paying the price for going for direct.
Yeah,
that was high risk.
Very high risk. I don't know if that will pay off.
Well, she hasn't picked up any penalties as a result of that, but probably 4, 5, 6 seconds there.
Yeah, luckily she didn't touch, so we can still keep her up there.
The important thing now is she keeps her composure, isn't it? It's that she'll know there's a mistake, but the important thing is she keeps her focus on those gates still to come, and it looks like she's doing that.
Yeah, Nadine is known for head ducking, and she's quite good at it. So.
Well, look at that, 3.73, the deficit. Considering that mistake, this is a good run coming together, and if she can hold it together on the bottom section, then she could well be into the final.
Yeah, it's looking like it could be good.
Right, she's taken a bit of a wet line in 21 to 22, but it's worked for her, and she'll get in tight into 23. You see, you have to be really reactive on the bottom section. You have to...
yeah, just adapt with what comes to the way.
And that's the important thing in slalom, isn't it? It's about quick decision-making.
Yeah, you definitely need to just be ready to do something else. You don't want to plan for mistakes, but you want to be ready if they come.
So into 6th place for Nadine Verachnik of Austria. So what that means is that we are now into the top 10, and Bethan Forrow of Great Britain is into the World Championship final.
The first cue.
So, well, that's a great performance for Bethan Forrow in her first ever Senior World Championships. And now it's Anna Statila sitting in second place, waiting to see if she's done enough as she goes up against Naomi Fox of Australia, who was bronze medalist at the Under-23 World Championships this year, and the younger sister of Jessica.
Yeah, she's really found her C1 technique and had a very good season.
Yeah, solid through 9 to 10 as I speak, though. You were talking, Hayley, about how important it is to keep the boat flat. And you can see there just
It's a little too much outside edge, and that put her stern in the water.
yeah, penalty picked up on gate 11.
But she's definitely picking up time in 15-16 here.
So,
Keep your bow, have a good pre-turn in 16. It's a good exit.
so if you've just joined us, we're into the closing stages of the Women's C1 ICF Canoe Slalom World Championship semi-final. Myself, Andy Maddock, and alongside me I've got Hayley Daniels for the Canadian team, giving some great athlete insight as we go through this competition. And up next we will have the men's kayak semi-finals, so live here from Rio de Janeiro in Brazil. And Naomi Fox,
Wow, good recovery there.
a great performance. She was a bit late getting the bows round.
And picked up a penalty, but definitely kept her bow up and made the eddy, which is very good.
So Anna Statila's time at the moment, 1:17.98, so she's outside of that time. So Anna Statila of Brazil will be into the final.
Yeah, she'll be happy about that for sure. Another chance to fight.
So Naomi Fox into 9th place for Australia, and Anna Statila joins Bethan Forrow in the final. 8 boats to go, but of course they were the fastest 8 boats from the heats. We certainly had some heat in the early part of this week. How did you cope with that, Hayley, in terms of the excessive temperatures earlier on?
We did a lot of spending time in air conditioning. There's actually a little air-conditioned room in the bottom. It was quite a few people that were in there trying to get out of the heat. One of my teammates, Michael, threw ice on the cement and was doing ice angels to keep cool. But I think it was just really trying to stay under an umbrella, staying out of the sun. If you're on the side of the course, having an umbrella so that you're creating shade.
Yeah, well, I think it's cooled down a bit now, and I think that's a good thing for the championships in terms of it was a little bit too hot earlier in the week, but shouldn't come away from the focus here of the Russian Federation athlete now. Polina Mukhalieva is on course.
She's a little low there, which is going to cost her a couple of seconds.
Well, just a 2-second penalty on the top part of the course, coming to the second intermediate split. That's just around gate 19.
Very strong paddler.
Yeah, the Russian Federation very, very strong in terms of put a lot of effort into the physical training.
Yeah, and spending a lot of time on the water. Just picking up another penalty.
Well, she's late. She's late through 21 to 22. That's a great recovery, though.
Yeah, it actually gave her a little bit of a speed just off the eddy line there.
Ah, she's done that really well. And she's not going to be in contention for an immediate place in the final, but she is going to be in contention to sit and wait and see where that puts her. So Polina Mukhalieva of the Russian Federation now coming into 10th place. So I don't think that's going to stand the test of time, unfortunately, but a respectable run there.
Yeah, I think there's definitely places she could have made up time.
So I guess her misfortune is Rosalind Lawrence's opportunity, because that puts Rosalind Lawrence into tomorrow's women's C1 final. And we're really starting to get into the sharp end of the racing now. And next
Vicky's
up,
had a great season, so I'm sure she'll be hungry to get into that final.
so it is Vicky Wolfhart of Austria. As you say, she's had a great season. She was the European champion in 2018. She's won a lot of titles. She's won them in K1 as well.
Yeah, she medaled in Tossin this year alongside her fellow teammate Karina.
So it didn't go her way in K1 semi-final yesterday, but I'm sure the experience of paddling down the course and 24 hours of time to reflect will have helped her in that preparation for this semi-final.
Yeah, she's always very in touch with the water. You can see her technique is her paddle's always guiding her to the place she needs to be, and it's quite magical to watch some of her runs.
Well, this is a good run coming together. Yes, she's 4.8 seconds down on the race leader, Bethan Forrow of Great Britain. But if she can keep it clean on the bottom section, then she'll be right in the mix to get into that final.
Just a little low there, but there you go. Just going to fight that bottom.
So Victoria Wolfart of Austria now paddling to the finish. This is a good run, and surely this is going to come into the World Championship final. She has to go inside 123.24. She does that into third place, and you can see the relief on her face.
Automatic qualification. That's the best feeling.
So with 6 boats to go in this World Championship semi-final, then Bethan Forrow is leading for Great Britain ahead of Ana Sachila of Brazil and Victoria Wolfart of Austria. That's the top 3, but also Rosalind Lawrence will join them at the moment in the final. 6th place is still up for grabs, though, so it is at the moment Lena Stöcklin of Germany waiting at the bottom to see if she's done enough. But on course now, Gabriela Satkova of the Czech Republic. A run of 3 Czech boats coming up.
Yeah, the Czechs are very strong. They have a lot of opportunity to do very technical moves on their course in Prague, and I think that'll help them and be an asset here on the course in Rio.
Well, it's a tiny move through 13 to 14.
She has lots of control on her boat there, which is helping her to get in. Yeah, this is going to be a very good run so far.
Yeah, she's tight in on 16, really letting the water do the work, and that keeps a bit of energy in reserves for the bottom section. This is where the gradient of this whitewater course starts to steepen up, and you know, you've got 10 cubic meters of water per second coming down this course, and you've really got to keep that focus just when the fatigue is setting in.
She's got 7 seconds she needs to make up here.
Yeah, she's gone very high, hasn't she, on the setup? She's got to make sure she makes that work for her. But
really holding on the offside. There, she got set 22, which is good. Doesn't have to go back for that.
Well, she will have shed a bit of time there, unfortunately. It is a clean run coming together, and now it's about digging deep into those energy reserves to get over the finish line. Quite a long finish line here at the Diodoro Whitewater Park.
Yeah, from 24 to the finish is very long.
So into 10th place. So Gabriela Satkova of the Czech Republic, unlikely to make it through into the final, but Lena Stöcklin of Germany. In fact, we've got a tie. So Lena Stöcklin and Sona Stanovska are both into the final.
Could have an 11-person final.
We could well do. We'll have to wait and see on that one. But next up again from the Czech Republic, it is Teresa Fischerova, who was the silver medalist at the 2017 World Championships. She was 5th at the Under-23 Worlds this year, and definitely a form boat to watch.
Yeah, she has a very aggressive style with switching in very risky places, but oftentimes it pays off. Oh wow, going direct there.
Yeah, you'd expect very Prague-like. This 8-gate offset sequence in the middle part of the course is very much like their home course in Prague, in the Czech Republic. And so far, just that 2-second penalty on gate 2. It looks like she's managed to refocus and put that mistake behind her. Certainly, there's plenty of scope for a place in the final if she could just avoid picking up any more penalties.
Oh goodness, she's hitting the bollards there, but she's still having a good recovery.
It's a long way. You just dig deep here, and it's important she doesn't sneak the exit too tight and then compromise this move 21 to 22.
Yeah, this is going to be the crux. She's going direct.
She's done that superbly.
Yeah, she really is good with harder moves like that.
She made that look very easy indeed.
Wow, even with that mistake, this will be a good time.
So Teresa Fischerova of the Czech Republic paddling for a place in the final. She's going to be into the final comfortably and into 7th place. Well,
just off qualification.
just off qualification at the moment, but I think she will make it through into that final. Well, from one top paddler from the Czech Republic to another, and it is Katarina Havličová, the 2011 World Champion. She did that on Bratislava in Slovakia on that big water. So we know she's good on the big water, and we can expect some good things.
Taking some time off to transition into motherhood, and she's a beautiful little girl. She steals the show every time, and now she's back on the scene and very strong.
So we talked about the pioneers of C1 Women, because C1 Women made its debut as a demonstration event in the World Championship program in 2009 at the La Seu de Gel, and then it was fully on the World Championship program from 2010. And well, Katarina Hošková, as she was then, before she was married, was one of those pioneers.
Yeah, she's always been one to watch. She has a really consistent style, and she switches in the right places, has really control on her boat. You can see there in 15, she was just very precise where to put her bow and where to put her paddle. And she's had a lot of experience and time on the water, which makes a difference.
Well, that mistake up at the top part of the course may well be showing itself at this second split, because she was certainly 8.5 seconds down. That's now extended to 10.8 seconds. So she's going to have to dig deep. She's going to have to find the line on this bottom move if she stands any hope of making it into the World Championship final. That's a good line on 21. A little bit sticky, but she's certainly comfortable in, but the time is still slipping away.
Yeah, she's really going to have to give her on the bottom here. Tight exit, but catching a little bit on that hole.
So Katarina Havličová of the Czech Republic now coming towards the finish line. The time she has to beat for an immediate place is already passed, unfortunately, and into 12th place. So
it's very close.
No final, unfortunately, on this occasion for the 2011 World Champion. So that does mean that Teresa Fischerova, her compatriot, is into the final as we watch Kimberly Woods from Great Britain on course. And, well, it looks like Kimberly, did she hit a block of the course and one of the obstacles or something there? She dropped a little bit low into the upstream, but recovered it well. So 2017 European champion. She was a medalist at the Under-23 World Championships earlier on this year.
Yeah, Kim has a really great style to watch. I definitely watched some of her video for switching.
She had to work hard there to get from 12 to 13, but importantly, she might have lost a bit of time, but she hasn't added another penalty to it.
Good control on her bow there. She's coming into the bottom part. She's conserved a lot of energy, so I think she's ready.
Well, increasingly, that time set by her compatriot Beth Forrow is looking very good indeed.
Oh, so she's falling a little low. That's going to cost her quite a few seconds.
She's going to have to keep her composure now on the bottom part of the course. So, through 21.
She's done this move in kayak already.
Sets this up, but well, she's done well to get the bows back, pointing towards the upstream. It will incur a 2-second penalty. But Kimberly Woods now needs to find some pace on the bottom section, or she's going to miss out on the final. The time to beat 1:23.7. She's not going to be in the World Championship final. Into 15th place for Kimberly Woods of Great Britain. And you can see the disappointing look on her face there. So with 2 boats still to go, then we have Beth Forrow leading ahead of Anna Shatila of Brazil, Victoria Wolfhard of Austria, and at the moment sitting on the button it's Claire Jacquet and Luca Jones, looking to see whether they've done enough as we watch the world champion from 2017, Mallory Franklin of Great Britain, on course now. And she was silver medalist at the European Championships earlier on this year. She's been on the podium today.
For K1, she has really figured out how to paddle both classes. It's very impressive.
So it's been a busy day, but it's been a successful day for Mallory. what can she do as she comes through into the upstream 16? Well, that's an untidy little touch with the bow of the boat.
But I think she's really untouched with the course right now, so she can make up that time.
So we'll get an indication now as she comes. Well, she's in touch. She's the first paddler, really, to have been in touch with Beth and Foro, the current race leader's time, and she's really tight into the upstream 20.
Yeah, she'll be looking to fight for that title again from last year.
Oh,
wow, good recovery. Oh gosh.
Well, that was nerve-wracking, I think, to say the least, but she has somehow managed to get quite tight into the upstream gate 23. She has incurred another penalty, but this is going to be good enough for the final. Mallory Franklin she knows it. She's cruising into the final, into third place.
Wow, not even taking the last stroke over the finish line.
And that includes 4 seconds of penalties. So Mallory Franklin joining Beth and Foro from Great Britain in the final. And now that means it is Claire Jacquet against Australia's Jessica Fox for that final place in the World Championship final. So Jessica Fox was fastest in the heats. Already she's taken her 3rd World Championship gold medal in the K1 women's event earlier on today, and now refocused in this event. And can she make it 2 golds like she did back in 2014 in the US?
Definitely think she has the will and the fight to do it.
Wow, she's really attacking this course, isn't she?
Picking up a penalty there, but I think she'll still be okay.
She did really well there, because on 9 to 10, because she pivoted the boat round and it didn't quite work how she planned, but she forced it back online.
Really tight in that upstream. That'll gain some time for sure.
Well, in essence, it is Claire Jacquet's time of 1:23.83. That is all that Jessica Fox has to beat in order to take a place in the World Championship final. And she's looking very composed. So 4 seconds of penalties, but she's still within half a second of the current race lead time.
Yeah, she's definitely high in this upstream now for the last bit.
So she takes the tight line on the exit, but that's a great line.
She will be happy with that.
She will indeed. That's important to get the confidence on that move ahead of the final tomorrow.
Yeah, and it's hard having a final the next day, and the World Cups usually have it the same day, so I imagine sleeping the night before is a little nerve-wracking.
So she has picked up another penalty on her run, but comfortably into 2nd place. Jessica Fox.
Congratulations to Beth winning. That's
well done. And
very big deal for her.
So Beth and Foro takes the win here in the semi-finals. She will go off last in tomorrow's World Championship final. Jessica Fox in 2nd, Anna Shatila in 3rd, Mallory Franklin in 4th. Well, it's exciting, and we will see those 10 boats racing it in the ICF Canoe Slalom World Championship final tomorrow. But don't go away, we've still got the K1 men's semi-final up for grabs. But there's the results. Beth and Foro for Great Britain wins the semi-final ahead of Jessica Fox and Brazil's Anna Shatila, a popular result there. World champion from 2017, Mallory Franklin, also into the final, and that will be a top final. So, big names that miss out. Well, Katerina Havlichova missing out, Kimberly Woods, and again, that bottom part of the course, Hayley,
very
really
tricky.
Claimed a few names there.
Yeah, there'll be a lot of people looking at that a couple times over just to make sure they know what to do there.
So that concludes the women's C1 semi-final, but we will be, of course, going straight on into the K1 men's semi-final in just a few moments. We will be live tomorrow with the final in the C1 women's, and that's 9 o'clock Brazilian time, 2 p.m. Central European time. So Andy Marrick here. I will keep you talking through the K1 men, but a big thank you to Hayley Daniels from the Canadian team. Thanks for your insight, for joining us in the commentary box. Much appreciated.
See you later.
So that was an exciting race there in the C1 Women's semi-final here at the ICF Canoe Slalom World Championships. And of course we've still got lots of action this afternoon here, because shortly we will be up with the K1 men's semi-final. So stay with us live, and the C1 Women's final tomorrow will be at 9 o'clock Brazilian time in the morning, and that's 2 o'clock in the afternoon Central European time. So Bethan Forrer of Great Britain wins the C1 Women's event semi-final ahead of Jessica Fox and Anna Satila. Good to see some a home boat for Brazil, and that crowd will be cheering her down. But let's us focus now on the K1 men's event. So myself, Andy Maddock, will keep you up to date as we go through, but I'm pleased to say I'm now joined in the commentary box by Mario Leitner, who has great experience of this course, representing Austria at the 2016 Olympic Games. So a lot of experience here. A silver medalist at the Under-23 World Championships in 2017, and a junior world champion 2014.
Yeah.
So a bit of a welcome, and I look forward to hearing your insight as we go through this afternoon.
Yeah, so hello everybody. Thanks Andy for having me. I'm doing my best now commentating this really thrilling semi-final. It's going to be 40 athletes coming down in the next hour, and yeah, we'll see who will take the top 10 spots.
That's right. So yeah, 40 top boats. We started with 74 boats in the heats, and we've got down to 40 boats, and now it's a single run semi-final and just 10 places in the final. And probably of all the categories, the men's kayak is going to be pretty brutal in terms of the risks needed to take on the course in order to get through into the final. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's going to be a huge fight for sure, and at the end it will be super close. So now we start off with Quentin Bouchy from France.
Well, he's a silver medalist at the Under-23 European Championships a few years ago, and often is the case in the French team, then you actually have to wait a few years to get your place in the senior team.
Yeah, but nonetheless he's super young.
So an opportunity to set the standard, the time to beat. Well, we can talk about what time it will take to take a place in the final, but certainly a time under 100 seconds is essential if you're going to be in the mix for a place in the final.
Yeah, I think for sure. But it's hard to say right now because the course is so difficult, and as you can see right now there are so many options to do it. So he went for the direct spin and not for the direct stagger, not for the spin, and yeah, we'll see if it's fast or not.
Well, he's certainly taking some risks as he comes down the course.
This will be a tight decision.
So as we come down this, I guess this order, how important do you think it is for the people who are going off last? Will they be watching some of the early runners to make some final decisions, Mario?
Yeah, definitely. So it's always good to have good heats, because then you can see some good people starting in front of you, and where the cruxes are and where they have the most problems, you can adapt your technique a bit.
Well, Quentin Bergy from France now coming towards the final gate. It's a good run, but it's slightly untidy. It's going to be outside the 100 seconds, and
yeah.
I think he might well not be on the right side of the qualification.
No, I don't think so. He had some bad mistakes, and I think he's also not really satisfied with this run, as we could see.
So 5 world champions are sat on this 40-boat start line in the semi-finals, and well, some just talent from all over the world competing for a place here in the ICF Canoe Slalom World Championship finals on this great course. What are your memories of this course from Rio, Mario?
Yeah, I really like the course, and I like the city especially. I mean, it's the best place to be, I think. I'm quite sad that I can't race now, but that's it. I'm enjoying commentating it.
Well, on course now for Italy, it's Christian De Dionici coming down the course. So 1.1 seconds down on the top split, and it's one of those. How would you describe this course if you were going to be competing in this semi-final, Mario? where would you be focusing your attention on finding the time?
Wow, that's really hard to say. This course is like demanding everything from top to bottom. As you could see from Canoe in the finish line, he tried to push hard, but that didn't look as fast as he could go. So this course is one of the hardest this season, I think, in the semi-final. And yeah, it's nice to watch.
So I think it's fair to say our course designers, Marianne Aguilon and Mark Delaney, have set a challenging course, but actually I think people think it's a good course.
Yeah, it's a really good course, I think. If we would have, for the spectators, it's the best thing to watch something this hard.
Well, this is a good run coming together from Christian.
Yeah.
Delivered the bottom move.
Wow.
And he was 1.1 down
Wow.
on the top section, and he's found the time on the bottom section. So Christian De Dionigi of Italy sets the early pace. And a lot of that was down on that, 21, 22, 23 and 24.
Yeah. I'm so happy for Chris. He's fighting all the time. And he had a quite bad season. He didn't get the results he wanted to. And now he finally got a good result. And I hope it's going to be enough. We'll see.
Well, it's going to be a long wait for him as he waits for the boat still to come. But at least he's in the mix as we go into our next paddler. And that's Antoine Launay of Portugal.
Yeah, that's the powerhouse of our scene. He is the biggest body. And he is also taking advantage of it, as you can see. He can push really, really hard.
Well, it'll be interesting to see how he takes on this move. Well, he has found some time on the top. And actually, that's probably where Christian was not quite as close to it. I was saying in the C1 men's heats with, in the C1 men final with Adam Burgess that the course is effectively like 3 sections. And it's pretty hard to deliver all 3 sections.
Yeah. You need to really take good care of your power and your energy, that you don't waste everything in the first part. But now you can see he's still really good.
Yeah, he's maintained that advantage, but has he just lost the 1.75 seconds? Drops low on the upstream gate 20. He's going to have to deliver this move. No hesitation. Because, again, Christian De Dionigi, our race leader, was good on that section. So I think he has gone from being ahead to being behind now.
Yeah, it's going to be a close call. No. So he lost quite a lot of time, I think, in the right upstream 20. He came quite low.
Yep, and it slipped away at the end for Antoine Launay of Portugal. So still very early in this process, then Christian De Dionigi of Italy leading the way, 96.81. And well, that's an indication. The fastest C1 finalist was 97 point something. So that was Franz Anton, who took the gold medal for Germany earlier on.
Yeah. So now you can see Jan Jakša from Slovenia. He has won a gold medal in the World Cup in Tarzan this year. So he's definitely somebody to look out.
Yes.
Picking up a touch on the upstream.
You can always expect the Slovenian kayaks to be fast.
Yes,
definitely. And I like the style, quite an attacking style with the Slovenians. But, well, he's absorbed some of that touch.
Yeah.
So if he can keep his focus and deliver this move through here, then he could still stay in the mix. So, well, he's tight on 15.
Nice.
He's got a good line from 15 to 16, really feeling the white water. Well, where would you compare this white water course to here in Rio, Mario?
I think it's similar to London. It's not as hard as London, but from the obstacles and the features, it looks pretty much the same. And I've been on both courses and I like both courses.
Well, a good move there for Jan Jakša of Slovenia there through the difficult 22 and 23 move.
Wow, I think it's going to be a fast time. Wow, we're sprinting to the finish line.
We have a new race leader. Wow, that's a good time. 92.4 or whatever. It obviously has a 2-second penalty on it, but that just shows the kind of pace that we could perhaps expect later on, and he'll be ruining that touch on the upstream gate 6.
As you can see in the finish line, he's still fighting.
Yeah,
it's so hard on this course.
Well, 94.60, the new benchmark, as we watch Pavel Eigel of the Russian Federation, who was, well, junior European champion back in 2008. More recently, a finalist at the European Championships this year. He was 7th in that event and 9th at the Olympic Games in Rio. So he should be familiar with this course.
Yeah, he definitely has a lot of experience here. Had a lot of training camps and also races. But we will see. Till now it looks really good.
Well, Pavel, again, is another very strong, powerful paddler.
Yeah.
And it's...
Wow.
Well,
that's good. So if you can hold it together, it's going to be like the new mark, just to see where how fast it can go.
It just shows how much time there is in this course if you can link it all together, and that's a very big if. So Pavel Eigel keeping it clean at the moment, and certainly finding the time in upstream 15 and 16. We'll get an indication as he comes towards gate 19 as to where he stacks up against our current race leader. And, well, he stacks up well, but don't forget, we still have 35 boats to go after him in this semi-final.
Yeah.
And only 10 places in the final. Great, very composed, very good line through 21 to 22.
Yeah, that was super smooth. He stayed calm and didn't hesitate, so it was fine.
Well, he's sprinting to the finish, and is he going to get into the race lead? I think he is, but it's actually going to be tight.
Oh, yeah.
So, yes, he does go into the race lead, but it shows just how good Zan was on the bottom section.
Yeah.
So Pavel Eigel takes the race lead.
There's just no margin for error. If you have a bit slight offline, you're going to lose a lot of time in the bottom.
Well, we're down to 94.12.
So now this is Felix Oschmatz. It's my colleague and my training partner. So really hope he can... Wow, they look really, really good.
Well, he's always really fast, isn't he? But he takes quite a high risk, quite an attacking style. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, that's true.
But really exciting. Really, that's what makes this sport so good, is just watching the exciting attacking paddlers. Well, he's looked smooth, and he looks like he's found his rhythm on the top section, which is important.
Yeah. So he's 1 second off, which is not much, as you consider how fast Pavel was on the top.
Yes, I think actually it's important to just keep it composed all the way down. And
yeah,
it's, well, into the upstream gate 15.
Oh, that was really fast.
So how much you've got a new course in Vienna? Does that help your ability to prepare for a championship like this?
Yeah, definitely. Like, the artificial courses are so different to the natural ones, and it's so nice to have one at home now, so we can train every day. So that looked really good of Felix now. If he can hold it together, I think it's going to be a new leading time.
It is very tidy there through 22 to 23. Takes the tight line out on the upstream. And you're right, Mario, I think this is a good run.
Yeah, it's going to be the new leading time. Go, go, go.
Oh, just outside. That's how tight it is. In fact, just 1/100th of a second behind the Slovenian boat of Zan Jakse.
Yeah.
So that's how tight it's going to be. Well, Pavel Eigel leading for the Russian Federation at this point in the semi-finals, ahead of Slovenia's Zan Jakse, and then Austria's Felix Oschmatz is in 3rd place. Well, this will be an interesting performance, because from the USA it is Fabien Lefebvre, who is actually world champion back in 2002 and 2003, and really we haven't seen him compete in an international competition since 2014.
Yeah, he's a real legend in our sport, and everybody's looking up to him. So
he's a 2-time Olympic medalist in this event, as I said. He's a 2-time world champion, and well, he's also a world champion in the C1 event in 2014.
Yeah.
And it'd be interesting to see whether 16 years on he can challenge for a world championship title again.
Yeah, it looks really good. He's staying clean. That's really, really important on this course. Picking up a touch in the up there.
Yeah, it's very difficult, isn't it? There, you've got to be really, really clear what you're going to do with the bow of your boat.
Yeah.
We've seen a few penalties being picked up across the semi-final competition, but Fabian still, it's that characteristic, almost slow style, but he is very fast.
Yeah, he never gets off the line.
So he's now 4 seconds adrift, unfortunately, but he's not given up. In some ways, it was Fabian who was the pioneer of the styles that people use now, the back of the blade upstreams and things like that. But people have evolved them, and he's playing catch up.
Yeah.
Well, into 5th place for Fabien Lefebvre of the United States of America. And, well, that 2-second penalty at this stage, significant.
Yeah, that was very costly.
But it's good to see him back, and I suspect we'll probably see him back stronger next year.
Yeah, I think so. He'll go for the Olympic Games qualification for the USA. So next one to come is Martin Halchin from Slovakia. And as you can see, he wants to win it.
Yes, and a very determined competitor. He's a 2-time under-23 world champion and a 2-time junior world champion. So very, very fast. And you can see he's certainly attacking right from the start.
Yeah, but he's definitely somebody who can manage his energy quite good, and he will have some more at the bottom as well.
Well, this is where you just have to slow it down a little bit, make sure you get the lines right. Well, he takes on 10 forwards, and he's pulled it off.
Nice. I think that was really, really fast. We will see in the next split time.
So lots of options in this course set by Marc Delaney and Marianne Aguilon. And certainly there, it looks like Martin has taken on that move on gate 10 forwards and delivered it.
Yeah.
So we'll get an indication of his time. Well, he's going to be outside of Pavel Eigel's time, but still in touch.
Yeah, he can still make it. Wow, that was super nice.
If you do upstreams like that, then definitely still in the mix.
Yeah.
A little bit sticky, but importantly now that he gets tight into this final upstream.
Losing quite some time on the exit, as you could see.
Yeah, I think it might be slipping away to take the race lead, but it's still a good run for Martin Halcin of Slovakia nonetheless, and into 4th place. So still, Pavel Eigel leading for the Russian Federation, ahead of Zan Yaxi of Slovenia, and then in 3rd place for Austria, Felix Auschmalz. There you can see, well, the margins so tight in the men's kayak competition.
Yeah, it is.
Well, another big name, Samuel Hernandez, who is a 2-time European Championship medalist. He's won World Cups on a couple of occasions, and he was 5th at the Olympic Games in 2012 in London, racing for Spain. Certainly capable of getting into the World Championship final.
Yeah, definitely. He's in a really good shape at the moment. Yeah, split time is not fast, but we will see what he will do at the bottom. Going for the spin there.
Well, he's certainly keeping it composed. I can imagine there's been a lot of decision-making last minute in this competition ahead of the semi-finals, just deciding where it's worth taking the risks, where not.
Yeah.
And you're straight into this course. Even gate 1 and gate 2 are not straightforward.
No. It's like really hard from top to bottom. There is no area where you can relax a bit. You have to be focused 100 seconds.
Well, Samuel Hernandez has pulled back a little bit of the deficit on the 2nd split. Now he's got to get tight out of the upstream. It's a tricky one, that one. And he's going to be outside of the time of Pavel Eigel, but again, another respectable time, but it's so tight. Into 5th place for Samuel Hernandez of Spain. that time of Pavel Eigel of the Russian Federation looking more and more solid at this stage in the competition. So we're coming up to having 30 boats still to go in this, the World Championship semi-final. Myself, Andy Maddock, bringing you all the action, and alongside me, Mario Leitner of Austria, who is a Olympic paddler in the K1 men's category in Rio 2016, so really got great insight into this 2016 Olympic venue. So next up on course, it is Martin Srabotnik, another fast Slovenian paddler, looking to take on the lead time of Pavel Eigel of the Russian Federation.
Yeah, as you can see, Pavel was really fast on the top.
Well, great reaction there, because he was clearly not quite on the line he wanted, but kept it on track, and importantly kept it clean. When you're 2.75 down on the top split, you can't afford to pick up a penalty anywhere else down the course.
Yeah. But he looks good so far.
Well, he certainly is keeping it on track. He's pulled in a little bit of the deficit now. Wow, that's tight in 20. It's all about not only getting tight into the upstream 23, but it's getting that exit, as you said, Mario.
Yeah, as you can see now, he has a high exit, which is also not fast, and he touched the wall with the tail. So you need to stay tight and get to the fast stream fast again.
Yep, so sprinting to the finish and into 7th place for Martin Srabotnik of Slovenia. And unlikely, unfortunately, to make it into the final. Such is the competition for places. So with 10 boats down, 30 still to go, then Pavel Eigel leads for the Russian Federation ahead of San Jakse of Slovenia. And then for Austria, Felix Oschmalz is in 3rd place.
So this is now Daniel Watkins from Australia. He's competing in C1 and K1. It's like really unique to do that, and he's so good in it. So we will see what he can pull down now.
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it, that you know, we see in the women's events that a lot of the athletes will double up, do both events. Less common in the men's events.
Yeah.
Why do you think that is?
It's really hard to say, because you need to focus on something. I mean, the field is so tight, as you can see in the results now. You have to focus mostly on one thing, so either C1 or K1. But as you can see, like, if you are like Daniel Watkins, a multi-talent, you can do everything.
Well, he's doing all right at the moment. He is just 1 second down on the early split at the top. Certainly ducking and diving through that middle section.
Yeah.
We'll have to find out whether it's actually fast or has cost him time. Well, he's in touch, 0.8. So that risk-taking in the middle is paying off at the moment.
Had to wait for the entry of the upstream. Not sure if it cost him a lot of time.
Oh, that's sticky.
Yeah.
That will cost time, but he has got it back on track. So he's absolutely got to deliver the upstream 23. Do you think anyone would try getting in on the back of the blade on 23?
No, I don't think so. Because the water is so unstable there, you cannot rely on that. Oh, picking up a touch on 21.
So gate 21, it was a good run coming together for Daniel Watkins of Australia. But unfortunately, there we see it actually. Oh no, that's gate 11. That's...
Yeah, and the video judges will check it. He has an asterisk on the result.
So at the moment, it is 7th place for Daniel Watkins of Australia. Pavel Eigel of the Russian Federation sitting, waiting to see if he's done enough. That's next up for Switzerland. It's Manuel Munch.
Picking up an early touch. That's really costly. Now he knows that he has to go fast to get a good result.
So he was 5th at the Under-23 World Championships this year. That's Ivrea in northern Italy.
Wow, really fast upstream there.
Well, he certainly so important to focus after a mistake like that.
Yeah, and another one.
I don't think there's a way back, unfortunately, once you've taken 2 touches. How difficult is it to, you know, you make a mistake at the top of the course, you pick up an early penalty, Mario. How difficult is it to refocus?
Yeah, it's really difficult. Sometimes you think you have to risk everything now because you need to be fast, but this never works out. Then you make more mistakes.
Yes, because ultimately you've already planned in your head what you think is the fastest line anyway. But that's the challenge. It's not just a skills and technical challenge, physical challenge, but the mental skills is very important in the bottom part of the course. But yeah, the penalties mounting up, unfortunately, for Manuel Munch of Switzerland.
Unfortunately, he had a bad start to the race, and then he couldn't hold it together.
So it is still going to be Pavel Igel leading for the Russian Federation ahead of Zan Yaxi. And, well, Zan's time is still the fastest time, but he had that 2-second penalty. And, well, we'll find out whether that is going to be significant in the final reckoning. So how much has the course configuration changed since you were here for the Rio Olympics?
I think it didn't change a lot. I mean, I didn't feel it. Maybe they put some more plastics in, but not significant changes.
There's just a little bit less water running down it than previously, but the features are similar.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, David Llorente of Spain now on the top part of the course. And, well, he must be buoyed by the fact that he made it through into the final of the World Cup in Laseo on his home course.
There was a really good performance of him there, and till now he also looks really good.
Well, he's 6th at the World Championships for under-23s earlier on this season. But, well, he's keeping it going.
Yeah.
Of course, he'll be looking forward to next year's World Championships, where the World Championships returns to Laseo de Gel in Spain, his home course.
Yeah, it's definitely a good thing to him that he can race at home. Because as you could see now at the previous World Cup, he was really good because he knows all the streams and the water flows.
Well, you can see the Spanish supporters cheering him on.
Losing a lot of time there.
But yes, 2.5 nearly was the deficit, and now
missing the gate.
Yeah. So it's all over for David Llorente.
Trying to get it.
Well, if he manages it, he will be the first to get it.
Yes.
No, it is put in a position that there is no return for there, and unfortunately the 50 seconds penalty stands, and David Llorente will not progress through into the next round of this competition. So we're into the well, we're still in the early stages of this men's kayak World Championship semi-final here in Rio de Janeiro, Brazil. And the competition really tight already, and we've still got the top paddlers to come. So next up, it is Haoran Zhu of the People's Republic of China.
Yeah, so I cannot say much about him. I'm not sure how many races he did already.
Well, we were saying in the previous categories that the People's Republic of China have really focused on the Asian Games in 2018, so we haven't really seen them at all this season. So they come in I guess, a bit of an unknown form.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they will be competing in the World Cup circuit next year ahead of the World Championships, and that's an all-important Olympic qualification event.
He looks really composed here.
He does indeed. He's navigated clean on the top section. 2.18 was the deficit. Well, it's grown slightly, but it's still in touch. And Haoran Zhu of the People's Republic of China delivers this move, 22-23. That's very nicely delivered. Almost too much ahead of the game. I can see what you said there about Mario on the back of the blade, that the wall is too close.
Yeah.
So it was a good position in there from the paddler from the People's Republic of China.
So he comes in 5th place, looks like a pretty good result for him. Fortunately, he doesn't look really happy.
Well, we've still got some big names to come. We've obviously had one of the 5 world champions down, Fabien Lefebvre. He is sitting in 9th place, so I don't think we'll see him in the finals. But still 4 world champions to go. And the Olympic champion from from Rio 2016, Joe Clark for Great Britain. In fact, all 3 of the medalists from the Rio Olympic Games are here in this semi-final.
So next one is Michał from Poland. Unfortunately, he picked up an early touch on upstream number 3. I couldn't really see it. I think it was really, really slight.
Yeah, well, he must have been boosted by winning a silver medal in a team event earlier on this week.
Yeah, it's always good to start the World Championship like this.
And he's done well. He took on that move 9-10 forwards. So, yes, alongside his teammates Darius Popiela and Matthias Polacic. Then they took the silver medal in the K1m men's team event.
It was quite tight. I think his full head was inside. Wow, look how fast he is.
Wow, so he, if it wasn't for that touch, he would be in the green credit.
Yeah, and this is also really fast.
Great move on 22.
He's pushing from the wall, which is also good. He came far back out, but he had a longer way to travel.
Wow, this is a great run coming together for Michał Pasiut.
Yeah, this is going to be really good.
And he's into the race lead with a touch. Superb performance there.
Really good for him.
Well done, Michał Pasiut of Poland. You've got a long wait, unfortunately, to see if that's enough, but well, you're right in the mix, and well, that 2-second penalty. There is an asterisk against that, obviously something being reviewed, but don't forget the reviews can also remove penalties as well as add them on, so
yeah,
it's not necessarily a bad thing. So, next up, it is to France, and a French competitor of Mathurin Madore.
Yeah, he's 22 years old, and I was competing with him a lot in U23 races. Unfortunately, he picked up a touch in gate number 2, but maybe he can hold it together like Michał Pasiut. Wow, another penalty.
So, you know, it's taken a little time to break through into the French senior team, and these opportunities don't come along too often.
No, definitely not.
But, yeah, unfortunately 4 seconds penalties, but I guess he's showing his pace because he's 3 seconds down on the split. So, he's clearly
really
got
fast.
the pace. I hope for his sake that he can keep his focus and really paddle out this run, and well, certainly feel like he's given it his all.
Yeah, unfortunately he is now 5 seconds off, which is a lot. It will not be enough for him.
No, unfortunately now, but let's watch just his technique. If you do this move well through 21, 22 and 23, it just looks so easy.
Yeah. Losing some time there, going for the sharp edge.
So he goes for the punt, but the back of the boat sticks on the wall.
Yeah.
And rejected on the exit. So Mathurin Madore of France goes into 12th place. Only 10 places in the World Championship final. And not to be today. So Michał Pasiut of Poland, our race leader at the moment, and yes, he has had the penalty taken off.
Yeah.
So 92.09 is a big margin now, and well, I'm sure he'll be smiling at the bottom of the course.
Yeah, for sure. So this is now the Swiss guy, Lucas Werrer. Unfortunately, he was competing in C2 in the Rio Olympics, but unfortunately he cannot do this anymore because they removed it. It's quite sad for him. But it's really nice to see that he managed to keep his performance in the kayak.
Well, it's pretty credible to transition from that and to be into a World Championship semi-final already. And well, can he make it into the final? Well,
wow,
he's
really
up.
fast on the top.
He's done exactly what is required on the top section. Now he's got to keep his focus, stick to the plan, and hold it together.
Yeah. Ooh, that's going to be close. But he really managed it nicely.
Well, he's certainly keeping his rhythm here. Let's see where the split tells us. Well, he's dropped a bit of time, but he's still in touch. Remember, Michał Pasier of Poland, our race leader, currently has a lead of 2 seconds.
Yeah, it is really fast for him.
So
going super tight on these 2 gates.
Well, it's probably not the fastest we've seen, but that's a good exit.
Yeah, that's really fast. Now he needs to be fast to the finish line. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, taking 3rd place now. It's going to be a close call for sure, but it might be possible to get into the top 10s.
Well, that's a good run. 94.4, a clean run. And yeah, like you say, just reflects how tight it is, and I suspect it will only get tighter as the numbers continue to come down. So next up for Great Britain, it's Christopher Bowers. Already won a team gold in the team event earlier on this week, so a good start to his week, but looks like another penalty on the downstream gate too.
Yeah.
He's caught a few paddlers out across the competition. And, well, he'll be hoping that he can keep his focus and do some damage limitation now. He's had a good season. He was 5th at the European Championships. And this is his 2nd season on the senior circuit.
Yeah, Chris is doing really well. Considering his age, he's only 20 years old.
Well, he's taken the move 9, 10, 11 on forwards.
Yeah, it looked really fast.
Well, it's a little bit sticky, but importantly, no more penalties to add at this stage in the competition.
Yeah, going a bit low on the upstream 15. But it's nice to see how he composed he is after picking up a touch. He's not risking everything. He's keeping his run together, how he planned it, and I think it's really...
6.93, the deficit, so somewhere along the line it's the little bits have added up, and Chris Bowers up against it now on the bottom section.
And having problems there as well.
Well, he's going to have to go. No, he's going to miss 22, unfortunately. And on this occasion, it's not going to be for Chris Bowers of Great Britain.
No, unfortunately not. Picking up the 50 seconds penalty there.
So I'm sure there'll be lots of fans from Stafford and Stone Canoe Club watching him, cheering him on. And Chris Bowers, well, great season in his 2nd season, but not to be here at the World Championships in 2018. So next up on the top part of the course, it is Darius Popiela. Well, he's been around on the circuit for quite some time, as you see. 8th at the Beijing Olympic Games, and well, he was part of that winning, silver medal winning team earlier on this week here in Rio de Janeiro, and always a very attacking style.
Yeah, and with 33 years, he's one of the older athletes in the field, but it's really inspiring for us young guns to see how long you can do it and how good you can do it this long.
Well, he's in touch on the split, just 0.39 down. So it's Poland challenging Poland at the moment.
Yeah, so he's chasing his teammate, Michał.
Well, he certainly looks like he's putting in a good time here.
Yeah, good cross.
Very strong paddler. And he certainly will leave nothing on the river.
No. So 1 second off, which is quite fast.
Yep. It's going to be critical now. He's done a very good job on gate 20, but he's got to get the line through 21 to 22.
Losing some time there, getting caught by the stopper.
That's right. If you want to know the fast line, well, it's all about keeping the boat pointing downriver, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, exactly.
As soon as the boat starts to slide sideways across the river, then the clock is ticking. And
so we'll see his time. It's coming 95.80. So rank 7 for Dariusz Popela, and he's not happy with the run. I think he knows where he made the mistakes.
Well, it was good on the top. It was solid in the middle.
Yeah.
And then just that stickiness around 21 to 22. Then the time just slipped away. No margin for that. So still Michał Pasiut of Poland leading the way ahead of Pavel Eigel of the Russian Federation and Lucas Ferro of Switzerland. That's the top three at the moment. And we're pretty much at the halfway point in this semi-final. Well, the next boat up is the silver medalist from last year's World Championship from the Czech Republic, Vit Prindis, and we can expect some Czech magic here.
Yeah, Vit Prindis is a very composed paddler. He's not risking so much, but he's just fast.
Oh, just look how direct he went from the upstream 6 to the downstream gate 7, and well, he's pulled it off so far. He is ahead on the split.
Yeah, looks really good for him. He's taking care not to touch the gates.
So it was just 2/100ths of a second away from the gold medal last year at the World Championships, and I mean, Vit has won all sorts of competitions. I think he's got 4 World Cup wins to his name in this competition, and overall World Cup title, and he's held on to the advantage.
We will see now the last crux move here through the 2 stoppers.
Well, that's well placed. Yeah. The boat stays pointing at the finish, and he makes a good job of that. Maybe a little bit low, but
yeah, losing quite some time there, but I think it's going to be enough for him.
Well, he's certainly through the last gate, 87 seconds. The sprint always seems to go on forever.
Yeah.
And into second place.
Congratulations. That I think that's really going to be enough.
It's always good when you get a benchmark such as Vit Prindis down the course for the Czech Republic. It gives you an idea of the kind of time to chase. Because he didn't really do anything wrong there, did he?
Pardon?
He didn't really do anything wrong there in his run. There's a few fractions here and there.
Yeah, I think he lost quite some time from gate 22 to 23. And yeah, but he managed to not lose too much, so that was really good of him.
Well, next up from Japan, it is Taku Yoshida. And yeah, you can see 10th at the Asian Games in 2016.
Caught up the edge on the first upstream, losing some time.
And the Japanese very much looking forward to hosting the Tokyo Olympic Games in 663 days' time. But, well, he gets the jump nice, but almost jumps a little bit low into the eddy.
Yeah. It's so hard to predict how the water is going to be there. Before the eddy line, there are sometimes a stopper, sometimes a wave. Oh! Nice. Now he has some problems before gate number 10.
Yeah, that's easily done there. That's using the diagonal wave on gate 9 and just caught the edge of the boat.
Yeah.
And, well, that's cost him. No penalty showing, but that will cost in a big way on the clock.
Yeah, that's definitely not the run he planned to do, I think.
So it's interesting, we were saying earlier in the C1 women's semi-final that the Tokyo Olympic course will be quite similar to this course here in Rio de Janeiro. And it's being constructed. We've got an Olympic test event in October next year. How will your team, the Austrian team, be preparing for those Olympic Games and that Olympic selection?
Yeah, we will definitely attend to all the training camps in Tokyo, and we will see how the course will be there. Maybe we can adapt our course in Vienna so there are some similar moves. And yeah, and we're all focused now on Tokyo 2020.
Yeah, and after this World Championship, then the world's focus will go on to those 2019 ICF World Championships in Spain, which will be the first round of Olympic qualification. But unfortunately, it isn't going to be a World Championship final for Taku Yoshida of Japan on this occasion. So here's another fast boat, a medalist from 2015. It is Michał Smolin of the United States of America.
Yeah, unfortunately, Michał didn't have a good season this year, so I hope he can have a good result here now. But till now, he looks really, really fast.
Yeah, he's the under-23 world champion in 2014, and He was 12th at the Rio Olympic Games on this course, so should certainly be familiar with the course.
Yeah, definitely. Spend a lot of time here for many training camps, and as you can see, it really pays off. He is tied on every gate, and there he really can save time.
Well, he wraps himself around. Basically, if you want to know where the fast times come from, well, you've just got to make sure you don't spend any more time than is necessary in the red and white upstream gates. That's where you can hemorrhage time on those kind of moves.
So he's 2 seconds off by having a good line here.
Oh, that's a good line.
Yeah.
Now what can he do in the upstream?
Yeah, he got to push a bit low, but the exit was then fine again.
It's looking tidy. It's certainly a very respectable run for Michael Smolen of the United States of America. Not going to take the race lead.
No.
But into 7th place. And, well, we'll have to wait and see if that's enough. We still have around about 15 boats to go. In fact, a few more than that, 17 boats to go in the ICF Canoe Slalom World Championship K1 men's semi-final.
Yeah, and there's so many good athletes. Like Pepe now. It's his home course here, and he's battling so nice. Picking up an early penalty.
So Pepe, who is the Brazilian favourite in this category for sure. Great to see the home crowd supporting him. He was 6th at the Rio 2016 Olympic Games, and he's certainly gone out to attack this course.
Yeah, definitely. As you can see, he's really, really fast. Wow.
Well, he is fast, you're right. He has almost absorbed that early penalty.
Yeah.
And he's very good there through 9, 10, 11 and 12.
Yeah, as you can see, he really knows all the water movements on this course. And he can use them to be fast.
Well, he's keeping it going through 15.
The cross, he lost some time there.
Yeah, just almost buried his paddle into the flow a little bit there, but he's still on track. We'll get an indication of where he's at. Well, 2.2, it's quite a lot to ask.
Yeah.
But it's all about this bottom move.
Well, really tight in gate number 20. Oh, and fast through 22, 23.
Very direct there. That's a good line from Pepe on this move.
Opting for the wall option, but it was not as fast as he hoped it would be, I think.
I think the time might just be slipping away, unfortunately, for Pedro Concalves of Brazil, better known as Pepe on the circuit, into 13th place.
Yeah, he's really sad, I think. He wanted to show his home crowd what he can do, but not today.
Yeah, he's hugely passionate about the sport, isn't he, in Brazil, and yeah, it's not going to be today, but good to see the Brazilian crowd have got something to cheer about, and Ana Statila is into tomorrow's C1 women's final.
Yeah. So next one's Boris Neveu from France. He's a real champion in this category.
Yes, so he's world champion in 2014, but he's also, I think he's got a load of podiums, 9 World Cup podiums, and 5th in last year's event on his home water in Pau in the south of France. So Boris, very familiar.
Yeah, he's looking really good. He's tight on every gate, staying clean.
He just looks so composed, doesn't he? And, well, he's getting the reward at the moment.
Yeah, that's really fast.
So it's certainly important to keep the composure, not take unnecessary risks in this semi-final. And very smooth, very calculated approach here. So you can see he's part of a strong French team here in Rio de Janeiro, and now coming into the split. Well, he's outside the split, but 0.58, he is very much in touch.
Yeah, we will see the last move now.
Oh, he almost looks relaxed about it.
Yeah.
And he's certainly letting the water do the work, and that's a good exit.
Yeah, that's a really good exit. We will see now what time he can get. Sprinting to the finish line.
Well, it's not going to take the race lead, but this is going to challenge for second, surely. No, fourth.
Yeah.
But I guess that's how tight. Yeah, Boris Nouveau of France into 4th place, 94.33. Let's give you a rundown. Michał Pasiud of Poland still leading, 92.09. That run looking increasingly solid ahead of Vit Prindis of the Czech Republic in 2nd, Pavel Eigel of Russian Federation in 3rd, and Boris Nouveau, world champion from 2014, goes into 4th place. So next up, another competitor from Switzerland, Martin Duguid.
Yeah, it was really nice to see that the Swiss team had every athlete in the semi-final, and he is now the 3rd K1 man coming down.
Well, just feel the wind getting up a little bit in this competition. I hope the conditions don't change too much through the semi-final.
Yeah, I also hope so. But otherwise the weather conditions look really good. It's not too much sun, because when it's so hot it's hard to race.
Well, Martin's had a good top section, nearly 0.9 up, so certainly a good start.
Yeah, he's looking really, really fast. Hope he can hold it together till the finish line. As you can see now in 15, 16, the cross looks really, really good. Staying tight in 16. So now we will see in the split time what's it going to be.
Yeah, he's looking very fluid and
Wow.
still holds the advantage, but just 1/100th of a second. That's all it takes, though.
Losing time here in upstream number 20. He was too tight.
Yeah, too tight, lost the pace on the boat, and that will be costly on the clock, I suspect. 1.5, 2 seconds down. We'll find that out when he comes across the finish line. But Martin Duguid of Switzerland now approaching the finish line. He was competitive all the way down, but that mistake in the upstream 20, and it slipped away and into 11th place. It shows just how tight the racing is.
There is no margin for error.
Well, I guess that gives us the excitement here in the commentary box, though. Just the tightness of the racing. But still, Michał Pasiud of Poland leading the way at this stage in the competition.
So next one to come is Mike Dawson from New Zealand. He's also a multi-talent doing creek boating and slalom at the same time.
Yeah, well, he had a good competition last year at the World Championships, 7th.
Yeah.
In the final of the World Championships, he was 10th at the Olympic Games on this course, but it looks like he was he's got a penalty on the first of the 6 upstream gates here.
Yeah, but he still looks really fast.
He'll be competing in the extreme slalom, which will be underway tomorrow afternoon in Rio time. So again, that'll be streamed live. So if you want to join us for that, then that will be live. Are you competing in the extreme slalom, Mario?
No, not this year.
So you're choosing to focus on the main events.
Yes.
Well, Michael Dawson there, looking well. He's certainly not added to any penalties to that early mistake, and but the time is slipping away, 4.5 seconds, and well, that certainly at the moment wouldn't be enough to make it into the top 10.
No, unfortunately he lost some time on the way down. One couldn't really see the big mistake, except for the touch on the upstream. Really tight on the last upstream, but unfortunately picking up another touch. Yeah, it's not the performance he wanted.
No, it's not going to be today for Michael Dawson of New Zealand, and into 21st place, unfortunately. But yeah, he'll be back in action tomorrow afternoon in the extreme slalom, where actually, well, he was a medalist in the event last year, so I'm sure he will focus, put the disappointment behind him and focus in on that event. So Michał Pasiud of Poland leading, ahead of Vit Prindis of the Czech Republic and Pavel Eigel of the Russian Federation, as we start to get to the point where we'll know who is into the World Championship final tomorrow. Well, here's a fast boat. It's Giovanni Di Gennaro of Italy. He's got a few World Cup wins under his belt, including the recent World Cup final.
Yeah, he's in a really good shape at the moment, as he showed in Laseo.
So he was 7th at the Rio Olympic Games on this course. So in touch, 0.7 down.
Yeah.
His coach, Daniele Momenti, the Olympic champion from London 2012. And in fact, I interviewed him briefly in the World Cup when he won the race. And I asked him what the secret was, and he says, "Oh, Daniele told me how to go fast on Seo." So maybe Daniele has told him how to go fast here.
Yeah.
Well, Giovanni is on the pace, a half a second down, but that's very much in the mix.
Yeah, it's looking really good for him. Staying tight in gate number 20. Getting caught a bit by the stopper there. And
he
really tight 23. I think that's how you want to do it. That's really fast.
Yes, indeed. Well, he spotted the opportunity and he took it. And this is surely going to take the race lead. It's going to be close, but into second place.
Nice. Congratulations.
Giovanni Di Gennaro of Italy.
And he knows it's going to be enough, as you saw.
You can see. Wow, that was good. And, well, the upstream 23... It'll be interesting to see if anyone else tries that, because it did work on a back of plate, but you've got to do a lot of pre-turn.
Yeah. He was taking a lot of risks there.
So next up, it is Juan Crespo for Spain.
Yeah, the third athlete from Spain now. Third and last one.
So a regular feature. If the race is in La Seu de Gel, you can expect him to be in the final.
Yeah, definitely. But
Not
also
always.
on every race, I think you can expect him to be in the final. He's so fast.
Well, we'll get the opportunity to see now. Certainly makes it look like he's taken that direct line from 6 to 7.
Yeah.
Well, 1.5 seconds down, but he's taken on the move 10, 11, 12 forwards, and he's delivered it.
Yeah, that looked really, really fast. Picking up a touch on 8.
That's quite a late touch there shown on there, but yeah, that will be expensive. That'll take his margin 3.5 seconds, the deficit.
And coming low on the cross from 15 to 16.
Well, he's done nothing wrong, has he? But he's 3.5 seconds down, and probably a little bit more now as he comes towards the second split.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's now 4.5 seconds off.
Well, he's good on the upstream, and he keeps the momentum, just hangs on there. A lot of rotation on the boat.
Yeah.
More rotation on the boat, the slower that move from 21, 22 and into 23. Having said that, good upstream on 23.
Yeah, another good upstream now. But unfortunately, he lost a lot of time on the upper part of the course, or in the middle part of the course.
99.18 total into 20th place. And by my calculation, that means we're getting very close to the final 10 in this semi-final competition. I think we've still got we've got 2 more boats to finish, and then we'll start to be able to confirm who is going to qualify through into the final tomorrow. And of course, Michał Pasiot, our current race leader, looking well placed to take a spot in that final. Well,
now we can see Igor Zviet from the Ukraine coming down. He's a really fast paddler and really strong paddler as well.
yes, indeed, and a finalist at World Cup level, so very much has shown that he's capable of getting into the final at the highest level.
Yeah, he was looking really fast on the top part. Let's see the split time now. Yeah.
That's nice, 0.33. That's very much in touch. Very smooth through 11 to 12.
Oh, he's looking really, really nice.
At the moment, the top 10 separated by 3.7 seconds. And I'm sure that is only going to tighten up.
Yeah.
The race lead time still 92.09 for Michał Pasiot of Poland. As we watch Igor Zviet of the Ukraine.
So last split time was plus 2 seconds, but it looks really good for him. With losing some times there on the stopper. Let's see the last upstream now.
Well, it's good on the upstream, but he's just, I think, a little bit more time slipping away. Over rotation 21 to 22.
Unfortunately, he lost some time at this move,
It's a good run, but into 13th place and outside of the World Championship final. So Michał Pasiut still sitting in first, ahead of Giovanni Di Gennaro of Italy in second, Vit Prindis of the Czech Republic in third, and Pavel Eigel of the Russian Federation in fourth, Boris Neveu of France in fifth.
So now the top 10 boats from the heats are coming down now with Mateusz Polacek.
Yes, Mateusz Polacek, and well, he's a force to be reckoned with, because he's got 3 World Championship medals in this event: 2011, 2013, 2015. He's fourth at the London 2012 Olympic Games, and he has a really attacking style.
Yeah, but it's nice to watch him because he's so precise when he's attacking. So now we'll see if he can keep up with his teammate Michał.
Well, he's in touch. And the Polish have been doing well on this course, and it's interesting. Well, Matthias is from a big family. He's got 4 brothers and 2 sisters, and they all paddle.
Yeah.
I can see why his family went into boat manufacturing to keep the costs down. Having to provide 7 boats for the family gets expensive.
Yeah, it's a good thing for him that he can create his own boat for his own style, but it's also a lot of work to do that.
Yes. Well, he's picked up a 2-second penalty on the upstream 15, but actually it's still a very quick time.
Losing some time there, 21, 22.
Yes, a big rotation there, and whilst it's a good move on the exit of 23, I think this is not going to be where he wants to be. As he sprints to the finish, it's going to be outside of a place in the final, into 19th place for Mateusz Polacek of Poland. So by my calculations, we now have 10 boats to finish.
Okay, yeah, sorry.
So once we get the next person to finish, we start to confirm who is through into the final. And for some of those people, they've been waiting quite a while to see whether they've done enough.
Yeah.
Next on course, Bradley Forbes-Cryans of Great Britain.
Yeah, young
sets
athlete, 23 years old, and he is so quick.
Well, I often call him the Flying Scotsman.
Yeah.
And he is certainly on the course, certainly attacking this move. He took a silver medal at the Under-23 World Championships earlier on this season, and he was part of that gold medal winning team in the team events earlier on this week. So Bradley tackling now into this.
Oh, he was super fast on the top part.
Well, he's taken the move on forwards, and he has delivered it so far.
Yeah, wow, that was really tight.
That's what you call high risk, but he seems to have kept it together as he comes into the upstream 15.
Wow, he's looking really, really fast still. Getting pushed a bit low on gate number 16.
Well, he has the opportunity. Yeah, he has the opportunity on just this little section to compose himself again before it gets relentless into this bottom section. Well, 1.59 now, so he's lost the advantage, but still very much in the hunt. That's a good upstream.
Yeah, definitely. He now has to focus on staying clean and fast on this move here, but it looked really good. So last upstream, going for the wall. Getting a bit caught on the eddy line on the exit.
Well, it's a good run for Bradley Forbes-Cryans of Great Britain.
But will it be enough? I'm not sure.
It's slipping away a little bit at the bottom. That's how tight it is. 17th place.
Unfortunately, he lost some times in the last part of the course, but the top part was the fastest we've seen so far, I think.
Yeah, well, at least he'll be able to hold his head high in this World Championships. It's certainly tight. We knew this course would get some tight racing, and well, 9 to go, so I guess Bradley Forbes-Cryans' disappointment is Michał Pasiut of Poland, his opportunity, because he is our first finalist. As we look at Germany's Sebastian Schubert, who is, well, in some ways, he seems to have performed at the highest level in most things, but the World Championships has never really gone his way.
Okay, I didn't know about that, but so it's going to be more fun to watch him now if he can hold it together this time, because this year he's in a really, really good shape.
Yeah, he's won 10 World Cup medals. He's won the World Cup overall on 2 occasions. Yeah, World Championships has eluded him, but maybe this will be his year here in 2018.
Yeah. He's staying clean, but I think he has lost some times on the hard part here of the downstreams.
Well, Germany have had a good day in this competition. They took gold and bronze in the C1 men's event, and then Ricarda Funk took bronze in the women's kayak event, so that will have given the momentum to the German team. But 2.69, certainly can't afford to lose anything else.
Yeah, it's going to be really close for him. While looking really fast on this move here.
Great use of the upstream blade from 21 to 22, really good confidence.
Wow, yeah, that was really fast in the end.
So he's coming through to the finish. It's going to be close, whether it's enough for a top 10 place. Sebastian Schubert of Germany into 9th place. And he knows it. It's unlikely to be enough on this occasion. But Giovanni Di Gennaro of Italy now confirmed into the World Championship final.
Yeah.
Reminder, that will take place tomorrow morning, Sunday morning, 9 o'clock Brazilian time. That's 2 o'clock in the afternoon Central European time tomorrow. It'll be live, so make sure you follow all the action. As we go towards another form boat recently, it's the Australian boat of Lucien Delfort, who took a medal at the World Cup final in La Seu de Rel, and another Rio Olympian. So we'll watch Lucien for Australia as he comes through this 8-gate stagger sequence on this course designed by Marianne Aguilon and Mark Delaney.
Yeah, he looked really composed on the top part, didn't take too much risk, and he's in touch.
Well, that's a good, he spins really early on 13. Interesting use there.
Yeah.
And it keeps it running on 15 to 16, but he is chasing that second deficit, so he can't afford to have extended that by much if he wants to make it into the World Championship
Yeah, that's
final.
true. Well, he's looking really good, staying dry on these stoppers here.
Yes, that is good, and it's going in the right direction. He has cut the deficit as he comes towards this critical move. And that's a nice line there, very comfortable, composed,
that
tight.
looked really, really safe.
Lucien Delfort is on the charge. That is a good move through the bottom section.
I think it might even be enough for the win. 91, 2. Yeah, it's close, second place. So
well,
congratulations to him.
Well done, Lucien Delfort. You are into the World Championship final. So that will be tomorrow morning. Michael Passiot, Lucien Delfort and Giovanni Di Gennaro. So far, 3 qualifiers with 7 boats to go, and those 7 boats include 3 world champions, an Olympic champion. So quite a lot of competition to come. And the next big target here, Germany's Hannes Eigner on course. So he was a bronze medalist at the London 2012 Olympic Games, and a very strong, very competitive paddler.
Yeah. And he's charging down the course now, looking really good.
Yeah, I think he was 4th in the Rio Olympics as well, so really consistent in those Olympic Games. And, wow, that's fast on 6.
He has a lot of experience in this course. Took part of all the training camps that were here. Yeah, and he's in touch.
Yeah, 0.68 deficit, nothing to worry about at this stage, I think. It's about just keeping it on track throughout the
that
run.
looked really fast. The spin on the gate number 13. Let's see the cross from 15 to 16. Yeah, he caught his edge a little bit, but could manage to keep the boat straight again.
I think this is a good run coming together for Hannes Eigner. He's, well, 1.1 down, so can't really afford to let that get any wider, but it's a good upstream on 20. Now he's got to keep the bows pointing downstream through 21, avoid the rotation. Well, quite a lot, but that's a good line.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really good run, I think. He will now push to the finish line as hard as he can.
I think Germany's Hannes Eigner is about to book his place directly into the final. into third place.
Wow.
And yes, he knows it.
Yeah, he's happy.
Well done, Hannes. So at the moment, 4 qualifiers. That's Michał Pasiut of Poland, Giovanni De Gennaro of Italy, Hannes Aigner of Germany, and Fit Prindis of the Czech Republic. Those 4 know they're in. And the relief there on Hannes's face. That's 6 boats still to go. And here on the course, bit of a legend of the sport.
Yeah, not much of explanation needed for this person. I think everybody knows Peter Kauza.
Peter Kauza of Slovenia, world number 1, double world champion. Finally got the Olympic medal that he deserved on this course in Rio 2016.
He has some really good memories here, I think.
And last year, he was very close to winning the world title for a 3rd time. Wow, 0.73 up on the top.
It's so cool to watch Peter because you never see where he's going so fast, but the time is always so quick.
Yeah,
he's just staying clean and tight everywhere, doesn't take too much risks.
Yeah, you talk to him, and it is all about composure. It is all about not being on the edge all the time.
Yeah,
and you can see that in the way he paddles. Very calculated. Look at that. He's nearly got a second up. And that's without taking too many risks. Peter Kauza is on the charge. For Slovenia, very direct on 22 to 23, taking no risks there. And, well, catches the tail on the exit. He'll have given away fractions there, but Peter Kauza is on the way to the World Championship final. And surely on the way to taking, well, he knows it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a way to cross the finish line. 92.25, drifting across the finish line.
Yeah, but good for him. It's never good to win the semi-final because then it's so hard to start as last in the final. And he knows that for sure.
Well, it's great. And you need characters like that in the sport. Daniele Momenti was a great character at the top of his game. And, well, Peter Kauza, it's great. We'll see you in the final tomorrow. Next up, Jiri Preskovic, the World Cup winner from this season overall, and the world champion from 2015, Olympic bronze medalist on this course in 2016.
Yeah, it's good to see now Jiri Preskovic coming after Peter Kauza, because that's a real different paddling style. As you could see on the first gates already, he's attacking a lot, but he's really good in attacking.
So essentially, it's Pavel Igel of the Russian Federation sitting on the bubble just outside the qualification zone at the moment against Jiri Preskovic of the Czech Republic. Wow, that's a spin. That's confidence.
But it looks like he's taking a lot of risks, but for him it's not a lot of risks because he's always training like this.
That's a really good point, Mario, in terms of the Czech team and particularly Prague. I think it gives them that technical skill to be so close to the gates.
Yeah, definitely. He really knows how to manage that his boat stays flat.
Wow, he has found some time on the middle section. Those risks have paid off, and very good on 22.
Let's see if he can keep his nose down. Yeah, he can. And going tight to gate number 22.
This is a class demonstration from Jiri Preskovic of the Czech Republic.
Yeah.
Delivering under pressure. Almost the semi-final is probably got more pressure on it than the final.
Yeah, for sure, because there are so many athletes to try to come to top 10. Wow.
And into second place again. Just knows he's done enough.
Yeah, he's really relieved.
So well done to Jiri Preskovic. We'll see you tomorrow in that World Championship final. So we have Michał Pasiut has qualified, Jiri Preskovic, Peter Kauza, Giovanni De Gennaro, Hannes Aigner and Fit Prindis. There are qualifiers at the moment. That's 6 boats, so 4 still to go, and they're the 4 fastest from the heats. Next up for Slovakia, Jakub Grigar.
Yeah, I really hope he will get a good result now. He didn't have the best season this year.
Yeah, he was the real form boat of 2016, wasn't he? He really couldn't put a foot wrong and finished 5th at the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
But yeah, struggled a little bit to find that form in recent seasons.
But he's charging down the course now. I think they would be really, really fast on the split time. Yeah, so you can see he's 1 second up.
That's a big margin. Now, can he hold on to that margin? Because this is where Jiri was so quick through the middle section. I think clearly that's a little bit, both Jiri and Peter Kauser have floated past the finish.
Yeah.
They're really the benchmark. But it's still Pavel Eigel of the Russian Federation waiting to see if he has done enough. And Jakub Grigor coming through. Well, he's lost the advantage, but he's still in touch.
Yeah. Let's see the last gates now, how he can do it, if he can stay tight.
Well, he takes a direct line, bit of rotation. It's comfortable, but is it fast enough?
It's going to be tight for sure.
Certainly going to have to work hard now. Digging deep into those reserves, the lactic acid burning in those arms. And it's outside into 15th place. Look at that, 3.5 seconds separating the top 15.
Yeah.
The margins are, well, you could say cruel, but that's sport, and it is the World Championships.
So far the top 9 boats are staying clear. Only Lucien Dufour in 10th place now as a penalty. So we will see.
Well, next up, the Olympic champion from Rio 2016 for Great Britain. It is Joe Clark. So he's had a couple of podiums on the World Cup series this season, and was part of that gold medal winning team in the team event earlier on this week. So Joe Clark now coming down. We'll get a first indication of his performance as he comes through gate 9.
Yeah, he really knows how to paddle Brazilian waters. Wow, really fast top part here.
Well, it's tidy, 1.23 the advantage, a little bit sticky, 13 to 14.
Yeah, he went for the direct spin move. Haven't seen many athletes doing this, but I think it paid off for him. It looked quite fast, didn't it?
Well, yes, and he might be buoyed a little bit by his training partner Ryan Wesley. Took a silver medal earlier on in the C1 men's event. So Joe Clark now coming into the gate 19 with a 1.5 second advantage. Well, just 4 more gates to go now.
Yeah, and looking really fast, 21, 22. Let's see if he can get tight into the last upstream. Yes, this will be a really, really good time, as you can see.
Joe Clark, the Olympic champion from Rio 2016, now paddling for a place in the World Championship final and into the race lead.
Wow.
Joe Clark, you are in the final. Well, that's good. Look at that. It's going to be an intense competition tomorrow. We've already got, the Olympic champion, world champions. We've got, Peter Kauser, Jiri Preskovic, Giovanni Di Gennaro, and Joe Clark into the final tomorrow, and still 2 to go.
Yeah, so Boris Neveu is waiting now to be qualified. C1w Evaldi from Italy picking up an early touch on downstream number 2.
So, yep, C1w Evaldi next up. So he was second fastest in the heats, and well, we know he can be fast, and it's about delivery now when it matters in this World Championship semi-final. He was silver medalist in the Under-23 World Championships in 2015. He was 34th in this event last year in the World Championships, but very capable of getting higher than that this year.
Yeah. So he was 3 seconds off with the touch. So it's only 1 second off in rare time, so it's quite fast actually. Let's see if he can keep it together till the finish line.
Well, as you said, it's a good observation there that it's Boris Neveu now looking to see whether he has done enough, sitting on the bubble in 9th place. As we watch here, C1w Evaldi of Italy. Well, he's certainly giving it his all. He's going to take the fight right to the finish.
Yeah, getting stopped by the stopper here a bit, and has the fight to the gate number 23. Yeah, it will be not under the top 10, I think.
No, I think it's slipping away, unfortunately, for C1w Evaldi of Italy. It's a good, respectable run, but that 2 second penalty will be too expensive, and into 19th place. So his misfortune is the opportunity for Boris Nouveau of France, former world champion, to progress through to the final. He was 5th last year in the World Championships, Boris Nouveau, so he'll be in action tomorrow. So, well, Switzerland's Lucas Vero is sitting in 10th place with 1 boat to go, the winner of the heat, but also the world champion from last year, Ondřej Tunka of the Czech Republic.
Yeah, it's going to be a hard quest for Lucas. Because Ondřej is looking really, really fast here in the top part. With his nice design, did you see in the boat, the girl?
He has a lady in a bikini on the bottom of his boat. Well, hopefully for him, we won't see the bottom of his boat, because that won't be the fastest option. And now Ondřej hasn't had the best season since his World Championship win, but he's come into form at the right time, winning the heats, and he's still in touch. 0.45 down on Joseph Clark of Great Britain.
Yeah, it looks really good for him to here.
So, and like we were saying earlier, the Czechs are very, very comfortable, very confident of being really close, intimate with the gates.
Yeah.
And this kind of course requires that.
Yeah, you definitely need to shorten the lines as much as possible.
So he's still in touch. It's nearly a second down on race leader, but there's 2.5 seconds at the moment separating the top 10.
Going through the middle of the stopper, but he could manage to be quite fast still.
Well,
tight on gate number 23.
It's going to be close. He's got to be inside. The time 94.40 is the time, but he's actually found some time at the bottom.
Yeah, it looks really good. Yeah,
into
congratulations
4th place.
on that.
Well done. It's great. We've got the reigning world champion Ondřej Tunka of the Czech Republic into tomorrow's final. So provisionally, then, the results from the K1 men's semi-finals here at the 2018 ICF Canoe Slalom World Championships. It's Joseph Clark of Great Britain who leads the way. He'll go off last in tomorrow's final. Michał Pasiut of Poland second, Jiří Preskowicz third. And here we are. Those are the results. And good to see Peter Kauser in 5th. And remember, deliberately just cruising over the finish line, didn't want to finish or start last. Boris Nouveau of France, so really intense competition to look forward to.
Unfortunately, Swiss guy Lucas Vero just outside with the 11th place.
Yeah, a few other big names there. Fabien Lefebvre, former world champion, double world champion and Olympic medalist, down in 30th place there. But, well, for me, what an intense competition.
Yeah, it was so tight. Every athlete did his best, and it was so good to watch.
Well, a reminder that that does conclude the action here at the ICF Canoe Slalom World Championships for today. But tomorrow we will be back live for the morning session. We have the women's C1 and the men's K1 World Championship finals. And in the afternoon, we will have the extreme slalom in action. So just in terms of your timings, then 9 o'clock if you're in Brazilian time in the morning tomorrow, and 2 p.m. in the afternoon Central European time. So don't miss those finals, because the C1 women and the K1 men's finals are definitely going to be nip and tuck, tight racing. So it's a thank you from me, Andy Maddock, to you, Mario Leitner of Austria. I appreciate your company in the commentary box and that insight, so a big thank you there.
Yeah, thanks Andy for having me.
And of course, yes, it is the women's C1 and men's kayak final tomorrow, but yes, the extreme slalom will be in the afternoon too, so we'll tell you all about that if you join us tomorrow morning in the action. Well, that's it from us. 40 boats we saw racing down in the K1 men's semi-final. Now we know who the 10 boats are in tomorrow's final. And, well, it's Great Britain will lead off last as the winners in the semi-finals in the C1 women and in the K1 men's event. Bethan Forrow going fastest in the C1 women's semi-final. And Joseph Clark, the Olympic champion from Rio 2016, going fastest in that semi-final. Well, I don't know about you, but I can't wait. See you tomorrow, 9 o'clock Brazilian time, 2 o'clock in Central European time. We'll be live.